Welcome to the IESF Dota 2 America's qualifiers. It's the grand finale. I am Waxen, joined by Black, presenting you the battle, the best of three between Ecuador and Venezuela to see who will qualify the World Esports Championships. Black, it's been a long week. Welcome to what is about to be an absolute bloodbath as these two American squads want to really fight for their final Riyadh slot.
Let's see if Venezuela can put up a fight against Ecuador, who we probably both think are the heavy favorites in this particular series. What sort of percentage would you put on it?
Have we seen Venezuela at all on the stream? That's my first question, because I feel like we haven't.
No, we have not.
Okay. So at the beginning of the tournament, I actually thought Venezuela might actually be a top 2 seed here, alongside Ecuador, which is great that we're going to get to see such a matchup. In the end, of course, they were no match for the United States. That I definitely, my apologies to Monkeys Forever, his squad, definitely undervalued and, I underappreciated the skills they had. So I still think Venezuela is arguably the third best team in this qualifier, which should make it interesting. The problem is Ecuador has been on an absolute tear, and that is the only question mark I have. So let's say 70%. I might be a bit too generous giving Venezuela 30% here, but I want it to be at least 70-30.
Okay, well, reality is often disappointing, as Thanos said.
Oh, wow.
I think it's closer to 80-20. Honestly, a lot of things have to go wrong and for Ecuador, and a lot of things have to go right for Venezuela at the same time for them to be able to beat them in 2 games. I think they can definitely take 1 if things go their way, but 2, that's going to be very tough. Because obviously, Ecuador, I mean, what they've shown so far, pure and utter dominance, just like the USA, of course. And if that's, again, if we compare them, we can't really compare them like 100%, simply because they haven't played against each other. But I'm just gonna put them at least on an even skill level. Ecuador and the United States. And America completely destroyed Venezuela. And not even close. 23 minutes. And I think 26 minutes. Less than 1 hour for BO3. That's, it's criminal.
Well, let's look at the lineup of this team that seems to be the favorite going into this qualifying match. And we're gonna have Dynamo, Reason, ZPP, Sebas, and Slade. 2 of the players that are still fighting for that, unofficial MVP of the qualifier title in the position 2 and 4 respectively for Ecuador. They are the 5 Ecuadorians that want to represent their home nation in Riyadh and make their entire region proud and put Ecuador on the map as their opponents, Venezuela, making their debut on stream after a long week of Dota 2. They will be represented by Arakiz, Rioma, Van Croft, Rakill, and Arcana.
Yep, Rakill is the guy that I told you about that I personally know. Not sure how active he has been, how much he has done, whether he has been on a coaching position or actually played himself. All that I'm very unclear about.
Yeah.
But he should be the standout player in the team, and they're probably going to be playing around him.
What position does he play?
He switched a lot of positions. I think the last position that he played was actually support. Before that, he was a mid main. So he went from mid to support, kind of like what Fata did. And Fata was actually, during his short stint as a support, I'm still very disappointed that he actually left the scene after that. Esports 5 transition was absolutely amazing.
It's flawless.
Yeah, they won so much. His support gameplay was incredibly good, and yeah, he kind of reminds me of Fata a little bit. Rakill does. Of course, Fata is a world-class player. He's been in super many top teams. Rakill never really quite got there, but yeah, he's a really good player in his own right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope from the bottom of my heart that he can actually show up today, because this might be the most important match, if not in his career, definitely in his young teammates' career, right? So helping them put their name on the map and qualifying the World Esports Championships would be such a big step up for a nation such as Venezuela.
Yeah, it would be amazing for them. It truly would be. Maybe it would even, make esports a little bit, or like Dota 2 at least, a bit bigger in Venezuela itself. In fact, one of my better friends, he moved to Europe, but he lived in Venezuela for a very long time. We played together for many years. It was very popular back then in Venezuela. I think nowadays not as much anymore. Maybe that would help to reignite it a little bit. But again, keep your expectations low, because Ecuador is also here to slay.
Now, this is a bit of a different format to the one we had in Europe. The teams made it out of the group stage, but they have a single chance. In Europe, it was the luxury of the lower bracket black. This is not the case here, as if Ecuador or United States, respectively, in the game that's taking place off stream, are gonna lose, they will be eliminated after a single loss in the tournament. That's highly unlikely, of course, for either of these two teams because it's a best of 3, but also a very unforgiving format, I would say.
It is an unforgiving format, but I don't mind it necessarily. Not as an observer, anyway. As a player, you always want to have as many chances as possible, but when you're a commentator or an analyst, you're like, yeah, let there be blood. Let tournament of power commence. I don't need those extra lives. You might. I don't.
I like the mentality, Black. I love your confidence, of course, as always. But I hope Venezuela is confident, because this is going to be their first show just on stream, and of course facing a team from Group A. Arguably, looking at the teams, which group do you think was slightly stronger?
Radiant team ban.
The third most competitive team I've seen other than America and Ecuador was probably Colombia. But then again, we don't know about Venezuela. Maybe if Venezuela played Colombia, they would be very evenly matched. So probably on paper the groups are pretty evenly balanced, right? Like you have one super strong team, 2 decent teams, and 1 team that didn't really have a chance. Yeah, I think it's pretty well balanced, and the draft is also super fast. Phoenix, first pick, interesting.
We had this a fair bit actually the last couple of days, and various degrees of success, but like you've mentioned, sometimes that's not really reflective of how good the hero actually is. The problem with Phoenix first pick is there are so many options of countering him, such as the Marcy. Yes, you banned the Snap and the Jakiro yourself, allowed the opponents to pick the Phoenix, but you were like, you forgot about the big one, and when this hero unleashes, the Supernova just gets turned into scrambled eggs.
Unless you pick a hero like Beastmaster, that just roars that hero, which I really hope they ban right now. Because Ecuador, they haven't played it, but I'm sure they have it in their repertoire, in their back pocket whenever necessary. I'm very interested in the reasoning why teams prioritize Phoenix so much, because there are a lot of counters still in the pool.
I think the innate ability, the Dying Light, despite receiving a couple of nerfs just now, I think it's such a strong innate. It's overtime damage that you can't really unjustify, and I think prioritizing it is the way to go, honestly.
Really? Even though there's so many counters? So you think that outside of the Supernova, he still has a lot of strength?
Yeah, I think Phoenix is not a one-and-done hero. I believe the Fire Spirits are very frustrating to play against, especially in the early mid-game. And the Sunray, although we see him have less impact than previously, the percentage-based damage plus heal at the same time is still a very much reliable source of income. And the damage, a reliable source of damage. And that damage is pure in itself, not magical. So pure damage, percentage-based, something that you cannot ever easily overlook.
Which ability? You mean Sunray?
Yeah.
Didn't they change it to magical? Or was it magical and then change it pure?
Well, then if they change it to magical, you can ignore everything I just said and still think it's good because it gives you heal.
I mean, it is still amazingly good because when it was pure, I think it dealt way less damage, like 3.5% or so. Now it deals 6.25% of
Oh, wow.
the max HP per second, which is, as you said,
A lot.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Makes Shiva's on the hero even stronger, which is an item that the hero builds anyway. And especially together with that shard that lets you cast Sunray doing egg. Yeah, the hero is always really strong. And what I like about it is that it makes heroes like Marcy, they really want to kill that egg every time they see it. And you can kind of use that to your advantage, Kind of like... What's like a good analogy here? Like a fish, I guess, in the hook. With a bait.
It's a bait. Yeah.
I'm a support Phoenix. Oh, I misclicked my egg. Don't come and kill it.
5 seconds.
Of course. And now the Rubik is a great hero versus the Phoenix. The telekinesis for the Icarus dive cancel and stealing all the Phoenix spares is great. But Earth Spirit is a hero that I've seen a lot of professional players actually theory craft that could be the S tier position 4 of the patch. Is so good that he can even be played as a mid yet again. And again, I have yet to see it be as successful, but the theories are there, and if Ecuador has a player that wants to use this to perfection, it could be Slade. We've seen him on the hero yesterday. Wasn't quite a memorable performance as much as some of his other heroes, but maybe he's practiced it a bit more and realized that this is the way to go.
Yeah. Well, you're having very high standards, because I think yesterday I actually went 10-0 on that hero.
Radiant team picked.
Like, he literally didn't die a single time. The guy went crazy on the hero. But I know, you said you're a harsh teacher. You gave me a 3 when you said other people will give me a 9.
3.5.
3.5, sorry, yes. Can't forget the 3.5. No, but again, that was against a team
10 seconds remaining.
where they're, the obvious favorites. So, against a team like Venezuela, it's gonna be a little bit different. Earth Spirit, as you well know, I'm sure you... Have you played the hero a lot?
Earth Spirit? Not a lot, but I've played a fair bit of Earth Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Like, I'm not an expert, I'm not like a spammer, but I played it quite a bit. The hero is so snowball reliant. Like, if you have a good game, you just completely dominate the game. Like, I want to see Sladden, what do you do if you have a bad early game? Because that's literally that hero. If you have a bad early game, what do you do? How do you recover from that bad early game? Because oftentimes you can't. You don't have the greatest way to catch up and farm. Rotations only work if you have a decent high level. And I quite like the Venezuela draft so far. Strong lanes means Earth Spirit, in theory, should struggle a lot more with the rotations.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. And now the troll for Venezuela is this another way of dealing with a supernova, right, Black? The problem I have with this, I feel like troll has been one of these heroes played when the Weaver was played as a carry.
Oof.
And you get the troll, and now the troll, for me, it just doesn't seem to be as good as people like. They put too much faith in the troll, and I think the hero is actually way weaker than people are theorizing. And the Visage, that's a very new approach to this gameplay, and there's been a lot of Visage changes just as recent as yesterday with a patch, so I don't really know how the interaction...
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either how strong Visage is. I haven't seen a lot of them played in pub games.
Radiant team back.
In 736, I did see Sammy Boy, I believe, in his team. I was covering one of their NA games. He played it as a position 1, and as you guessed it wasn't great. It just wasn't good. The hero was like, it was kind of a throw, I'll be honest. So here, I think this is lining up to be a core, but potential offlane Visage. And I think we're looking at a 5 Phoenix, 4 Earth Spirit? Or actually, no.
Looks likely.
5 Phoenix, Earth Spirit, mid Visage offlane with Sven 4. Actually, that's kind of what I think. And I think we still need a position 1 for Ecuador.
That could work too if Sebas wants to show us yet another hero he wants to go 15-0 on.
He's been very versatile this tournament.
Yeah. And has an insane KDA. Literally never died more than once in any of his games. Yeah, but as you said, Visage is. Let me see. They didn't change super much about him, did they? So they gave him a new innate ability, Lurker, which now kind of makes him want to play backline as much as possible, which is weird because his passive makes him want to play the front line as much as possible.
I think the way Visage feels to me nowadays is the hero that needs to be behind and play it a little bit like a... How does it? A bit as a sniper, because he used to be very tanky, but it's not as tanky as in the past years, Black. But that's why I'm theory crafting a Visage offlane with a Sven support, with the Warcry armor on top of Visage, would actually give him that extra boost of armor that I feel like he's been lately lacking.
It's definitely a lane that could work out.
Radiant team
But
pick.
yeah, I just feel like the...
Oh wow,
Oh,
how's
it's
Ember not
Sebastian
banned?
Embers. Okay.
How is Ember not banned? Stop!
Yep.
And
It just
Beastmaster
happened.
went uncontested, by the way. It's the third time this week
10
when we get
seconds
someone
remaining.
picking an Underlord when Beast is available.
5 seconds.
Now let's see what they got against the Ember. They got a bit of time to think about it.
Puck?
But yeah, something in the realm of Visage went very wrong with that new init. It's
What do
just
you think of the
strange.
Puck? Puck here?
Puck can, it can work, but Earthspirit is quite strong against Puck. Silence, the instant silence is very scary. The lane against Ember is quite rough, but it is a very good mid-game counter to Ember.
I think Dragon Knight would have been great, but sadly Ecuador was aware of that, the possibility of countering their lineup, so they banned it early on in the draft. What about something strange like a Slardar? To just pick up the pace and the tempo, amplify the physical damage of the troll
We
and
all
the
know they're
Marcy.
just gonna pick some super cookie cutter mid hero.
Well, with
Some,
5
like,
seconds.
some Storm Spirit or something. Alchemist
Ah.
and
So I think this-
Troll.
Heroes.
I think this kind of works in a similar way with the Slardar. It's not as big of a tempo runner as I wanted from the Slardar, but the armor reduction from the acid sprays is good, and now you have a bit of extra scaling, plus a lot more presence in the mid game where the Slardar could kind of fall off because he can't keep up in the farm aspect. I don't hate this Alchemist actually.
I mean, it's decent against Ember Spirit in lane for sure. I just, you know me, I don't like Alchemist into Sven that much. It kind of feels like you're already countering yourself. Phoenix is super good against Alchemist because of the max HP damage, of course. Oh, I'm not sure how much I like it. It's a very passive lineup. Underlord, Troll, Alchemist. They do nothing. Who's gonna rotate? No, like their draft can work, but they need time. And
Yeah, it's a lot of greed.
yeah, I just feel like in general, passive lineups in this patch don't really seem to work much because you just get choked out of the map, and there's too many objectives on the map. And we'll see, maybe they make it work somehow, but it's not gonna be easy.
It's very greedy, as you also run a Marcy Rubik support duo, and I'm realizing this is, both want to get space, XP, and of course, some gold to get online. Marcy, not so much gold needed, but she definitely needs to hit her level 6 before she picks up the big tempo. As I'm looking at her facet, she went for the sidekick, not for the alternative, which is the one that Valve has been trying to push a lot, the bodyguard, which I actually think is quite a fun one, but it's not going to be the case for this. Game number 1, as ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping in on the server. It's going to be Venezuela. See if they can take down game 1 from Ecuador.
The undefeated Ecuador. Can they make them at least sweat, if not even take a game? Gonna be a tough task. And we have not yet seen them on stream. So let's see what they got to offer. Checking for ward. Okay, yep. He knows they have a ward now. But where? It's not there. No, Sebas is not there.
Interesting ping.
Yeah, I hate it when core players try to act like they know the ward spots, you know. Like I never tried to do that in all my teams. I was like, you guys know better than me. I just give you the information, you know.
This is the biggest mistake Sebas made all tournament long.
Yeah, terrible.
I don't know if you saw Tackle-Zor's record on the Alchemist, 16-4 in the last 20 games. That's quite a good sign for him, as he would obviously need to pull his weight and play it in all cylinders, especially versus Sebas.
The lane is pretty favorable for Alchemist, though. Been traditionally a very strong hero against the Ember Spirit, so we'll see. I'm not expecting any kills either way, just cause mid lane is mid lane. But maybe with some Earth Spirit rotations we could see something.
I think Rakiel actually is going to have quite a good time versus the Phoenix. I know in theory Phoenix has quite good harassment, but his armor is not great. Base damage is also not amazing versus the Rubik, who will use the Fate Bolt to reduce it even further. And I think that's going to be a great start for Rakiel, unless, you know, there's like a random Stormhammer hitting him and then he just dies, because that's how supports work.
Don't act like supports are weak.
Supports are weak, Black.
You're way too OP this patch.
Well, the patch has been here for 2 days. Oh my god, he almost kicked him onto the cliff. Slade going for some funky plays right now. But Arcana is going to be fine. That would have been hilarious.
Now Visage is doing quite well. You know, also took the new facet that was added yesterday. Death Toll.
Is that the gold one?
Kills. Yeah, the Soul Assumption kill gold one. I mean, in theory, it's quite a lot of gold, right? Like
I think it's a lot of gold.
Like 210 extra on top of the kill gold. It's basically a second kill. And now Visage actually has a reason to steal kills.
I mean, I did predict. This is very similar to what I called from the Ecuadorian draft. The only change up is, of course, the Sven Earth Spirit change up. Right, I predicted Sven might be supporting Earth Spirit core, but if Visage is still offlaner, so he should probably have plenty of impact here. As his top lane, I think Araki's should be slightly more aggressive and try to help Rakiel setting up for this kill.
It's very tough though as an underlord. They just don't do anything. That's why I don't like this hero. In the offlane at least. I feel like underlord is more of a mid laner nowadays, if you want to play him. I don't like passive offlaners. But as I told you before, you're supposed to really pressure the carry. If you can't do that,
yeah.
And then what are you doing? You
know? Well, there are some games where you get a lot of like Fiora stacks and you just right-click the melee opponent, and this is what we're seeing right now. Sadly, Rakiel will be on the receiving end of the blunt damage from Dynamo and Region, so the turnaround point is not quite there yet, as Ecuador will be more than happy to get a first blood, especially for Dynamo's Sven.
Great start for the Sven again. Horde is almost completed. They're both very low now in the top lane though, so they'll have to figure out a way to get back to full health.
Oh, look at the pressure in mid. Sebas though has the full creep wave actually last onto Azor to scare him a little bit.
Be careful, one more concoction could potentially kill him. I think there's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Sebas is also quite low in mana.
Sebas, I think he is. If the stun connects. Oh.
No TPs to help him. One more right click will get the job done. He's running. He's very speedy.
Oh, he's gonna get the kill on Takazor now instead.
He's turning around. He's got a bottle. This is a disaster. Nice juking with the Observer. Takazor tries to TP out, but the ceiling change to be there. And now, not only he dies, he will also not have a TP to come back to lane. And as the story goes, the boss comes on top of the mid lane yet again.
And surprise, the British lane is losing.
Up, Reason and Raykill are trading blows, but with the help of Dynamo, the Rubik will be sent to join Alchemist in the fountain. Oh,
Also uses healing self, so feels double bad. But this is what I mean with the Earth Spirit. Like if you don't have a good early game, you know, maybe you have to start focusing on the Alchemist now instead. It's very hard to pressure troll with an Earth Spirit. Nice TP bottom, Rubik. Gives up on top lane, Visage, dead again. Probably.
oh, that's a nice dispose. Ryoma is actually very confident there. I believe with another turnaround, the Soul Assumption could have probably traded the kill onto the roll, but they do get out safely, so fine. Tri-lane bottom now, essentially. Telekinesis available. Oh, Raykill didn't get in range in time to pick up Slade in the air.
Yeah, they're turning on the heat. They're actually coming out on top a little bit in this early game now. Of course, they have an Alchemist, so the gold values are a little bit skewed. They're doing very well for themselves. Who's gonna get the rune? Ah, double damage. Amplify damage. So sorry. Oh. Amplify damage. Ember Spirit is coming to the party. You might wanna evacuate.
But so is the Alchemist. It might be too late. Sebas still going. He wants to get a kill. Has the Fire Remnant, and he goes for the supports in the front line. But now the mana's quite low. Right clicks. Are they gonna do the job? Sebas falls to the concoction. It's a double kill for ZPP, but one for Tackle and we know who is favored by that exchange, and it's definitely the greedy Alchemist.
Wow. It's the first time I've seen Sebas make a mistake like that. Like he literally just walked in. He is mortal after all.
Well,
Is under attack.
let's wait and see. That's what I have to say about that. Let's wait and see. You know, Sebas has died once every couple of games. Maybe he's gonna make a statement this time around and show us that I can go down 0-1 and then take over the game. But he almost died twice. Well, tackles are almost soloed him, right? The water rune timing was impeccable there to help him. But so far, Black, look at Venezuela. They're holding their own very nicely versus Ecuador. Now the Fiend's Gate bottom is going to be a great setup kill for ZPP, allowing him to allowing Ryoma to get the kill. And now Araki is going back up top through the same Fiend's Gate. Slade and Sebas are preparing to get a kill onto Arcano. He does need some help. Marcy needs someone to just rebound off of, and it's going to be Raykill, allowing the Marcy to get out there safely. By the way, Raykill is playing support this game.
Yeah, yep. And he's doing a damn fine job. Sure, the top lane didn't go too well, but his rotations have been spot on.
We'll take that.
So the Alchemist is still going for Radiance anyway. Okay. Very greedy.
I think yes, but you also have an Underlord, which Underlord, you know, is not like one of these offlaner that needs to continuously hit creeps. If he had his first 60-80 last hits, which again he's already 53, and afterwards he can be the one to set up for the plays around the map, allowing the Alchemist and Troll to farm. And in an ultra late game scenario, you need all of the items you can get versus a Sven Ember lineup.
Yeah, he seems to be getting away with it as well. Not really under any sort of pressure. Oh, it always digs up a water rune when used in a river.
Yeah. That is a great trusty shovel. The first 12 minutes are actually... Sorry, the first 12 minutes after minute 7, so minute 7 to 19, this is what I meant to say, before you drop probably all the other tier 2 items are great for a mid laner to have a trusty shovel.
Yeah, it also gives extra health. It might be the new go-to item for mid laners.
Most certainly, especially the ones that are dependent on bottles, right? Of course, this time it's not the case for the likes of the Alchemist, but sometimes Alchemists themselves go mid and buy bottles, so, you know. Oh, he does have a bottle, never mind.
Yeah,
I thought
he did buy
Taco
one.
skipped it. I thought he skipped it.
And his acid spray spam is so painful to deal with. Now he
Yeah, no, the
gets
more I think
room.
about the Alchemist, the more I like it. You know, I was talking about the Slaughter, but now this AoE armor reduction is going to be very good, even in team fights with Dynamo that has 2 points in Warcry. Marcy, Arcana, they're turning around, Concoction and Rebound. Now the Fiend's coming in, but Sebas does have teammates by his side. He's going to go down south, has a Remnant on his high ground, and Slade is going to be caught as this Alchemist is hasted and he's running very fast. No, he's not diving there.
This is kind of what I said. So 4 Earth Spirit, 0-3. Because his lane didn't go so well. Earth Spirit has always been like this. It's a good hero, yes. But if you don't get a good early game, you can really become just dead weight. At least Sven is still farming nicely.
And he had a few beefy stacks, I believe, in the triangle. That's why we can see his last hits skyrocketing. He was just a little ahead of the Underlord, and now plus 50 last hits is pretty big.
Look at that experience. Troll is level 7, Sven is almost level 12.
Wow.
He's actually
mean,
so high level on Sven.
We have been highlighting Sebas and Slade so much. The last couple of days, the Dynamo is angry, really wants to get some praise himself, and he's putting a team on his back right now. But still, 2,000 gold behind. Araki's nice sidestep of Slade is going way too deep. You're only level 4, and the Unleash of the Marcy will melt you down. And that's what's happening, Black. Yes, the Troll has considerably less level than the Sven, but because you've given Sven so much space, your Earth Spirit is so under level.
Everyone. Yeah, like, even the Phoenix. I mean, he's level 6, but I don't know. You gotta give the Earth Spirit some sort of space. He's level
Some
6.
love.
Just a non-factor right now. Look at his net worth.
They're going deep. They want to find this Troll. Yeah, his net worth is, well, this is arguably the worst game we've seen Slade play this tournament. But again, it's still early on, early stages. And Earth Spirit is a hero that's not as dependent on his level 6. It feels like his ultimate sometimes gets a bit redundant. You're rolling Boulder and well, the Silence. But Geomagnetic Grip, that's the one, are way more valuable. This Phoenix, Icarus dive away, Gates gets cast in, and Reason, nice Supernova on top of the egg, but on the high ground, but it's gonna be a wasted ultimate in the end.
I'm sure what he thought there, but that just gives Earth some time to farm level 6. And Ecuador is actually not in a good spot at all this game.
Someone go to Arcana so he can come down from the cliff. Okay, thank you. Well done. That would have been quite tragic. And look at the Observer word placed. Very aggressive in the Mighty Mines up top. And that's why Rakiel is actually coming in for Slade to bully him away from the creep wave. So keeps him even further from getting level 5 or 6. The problem is that Sebas is on the prowl, and so is ZPP. The Rubik needs to get out of there very quickly, and he doesn't even care. He actually shows stealing some neutral creeps with the Fade Bolt. This Rubik is fearless, Black.
Yeah, and he's pretty much by himself too. He's acting like his whole team is behind him. Yeah. Finished his Radiance already. Ay.
3 minute 14, that's very good. But despite that, despite how farmed he is and what a good start Tacklesaur's had, still behind that pesky Sven of Dynamo.
I didn't expect Ecuador to be in trouble, but they're actually in trouble.
Well, the fact that they finally have an opponent that's evenly matched up to them doesn't mean they're in trouble yet.
Well, the game state, though, suggests otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, the flow of the game feels like it's going in favor of Venezuela, and so does Dota Plus, by the way, giving them 74% right now. As The boss has really struggled to find any kills this game. A very good constant disengagements from the Radiant squad.
Well, depending on how this game goes, we really have to reevaluate. Because, as we said, America really crushed them. You're gonna be careful still.
Rolling in. Boulder Smash is available. Rubik does reposition himself very nicely, and now Mars is just going for this. Visage has no chance to survive as the Alchemist shows up as well. It's a support for offlane kill. The Supernova gets used by reason. Fortify as well, but Akelzor and the rest of the squad still want to fight. Even Troy is here, and Sebas has to get out of there with a Remnant.
Yeah, but you're playing against an Alchemist, so the gold lead is gonna be continually growing.
I love the fact that we get... See, Black, you know, I might not be invited for the biggest events in the world, and people might be like, oh, this guy's not a caller, he's not a play-by-play, but I told you at the beginning of the tournament, Ecuador, Venezuela, and the US are the three teams to keep an eye out for. Yes, I underestimated USA, but look, Venezuela really is playing up to par with Ecuador. I know my stuff, man. I know my stuff.
Should do. But I don't, because the United States has crushed Venezuela. And I thought they evenly matched with Ecuador. Well, America, that is, but maybe it just means America is actually the real powerhouse here.
Which is great. I mean, we mentioned how questionable their last international season was, and now with this new squad led by Monkeys Forever, we know how desperate NA is, well, especially USA, in need of a resurgence in the Dota 2 scene. So hopefully now with this national qualifier they could inspire some of the new players for the future, as it's been a long time since NA had, well, any successful full stack rosters on the international stage, as another great usage of the Fiend's Gate. And no matter how much we doubted this Underlord instead of the Beastmaster, you gotta be honest, Black, Arakis has put in the work this game.
Yeah, he's been playing the hero very well. Great usage of his ultimate. Just overall, great gameplay. And 5k gold lead now. And it looks like it's going the other way. You know, Ecuador is tasting their own medicine. Goodbye, Sladden.
And now the Phoenix stops the Icarus dive. He's alone. I don't know what you're doing there, my friend. You're not gonna have to use the Supernova. Even if you are, it's gonna die in a matter of seconds with or without Fire Spirits. And now Sebas is alone in a 1 versus 3, trying to keep on fighting, but there's no follow-up. There's no items. Rare chain feeds from Ecuador coming in right there, Black.
Look how rich the Rubik is, because he's gotten so many kills with the Soul Assumption. Who obviously also steals he also steals the facet, of course. Oh, that's so funny. Because that nuke on Rubik is ridiculously strong.
Yeah, increased by the Arcane Supremacy, that's, you know.
Ember strength, now rekindled.
Yeah. Well,
Dire's bottom tower
big
is under attack.
trouble brewing. Or it's what they need, both support, pot.
Marcy is getting silenced, so there is no way for her to rebound out, and Raykill will be the second one to die, and that is the strength of Dynamo. Yes, he's right now getting outfarmed by the Alchemist. Finally, Takozor has started to pick up the pace with the Radiance, but we haven't seen Dynamo join up with the rest of Ecuador at all this game. Up until now, I guess.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Are you looking for Roche? Oh,
They can get it.
Roche, okay.
Yeah, its Visage is very annoying, but especially when you have Warcry after Sven, it will fall not enough potential of contesting this, although they do have a Fiend's Gate, and previously this offlane hero of Venezuela was called Pit of Lord, and that's why the Fiend's Gate get used instantly, and they're coming through it. Although Abyssal Horde is there, bit of Malice for separation. Where is the rest of the team though, guys? Guys? BKB consumed already by Dynamo. They're trying to get on top of the Phoenix, and finally the Sven BKB has been completely expended, but Alchemist is below half HP, and the God Strength still available as the Alchemist falls, and now you need to cut their losses. You need to run out of there. Can you get back to safety? I think
Oh, the
Troll
such a
will
rough
be
spot,
fine.
man.
It's the Sven, bro. It's a minute 19, level 17 Sven.
Green dude's top thing.
As the Roshan too, and the game is completely back to even. Why did we even doubt Ecuador?
Well, we doubted them because their star players were actually way more quiet than they have been, but we forgot they also have a very reliable carry. Dynamo wasn't that needed over the last few days because the rest of his squad was always taking over the game.
Dire's middle tower
But they didn't
is
get
under
Roshan. They didn't finish it.
I think they don't think they have enough time without God's
Oh,
Strength. Because
that
it's
makes
gonna
sense.
go over to Radiant soon. Alchemist is actually not going for the BKB, Matt is stealth first. That's actually why he died there. If he had a BKB there, the fight might go a little bit differently, but now they're setting up for Roshan again. Are they? Ren is not there. They have a 3 God Strength too.
He's
Wait.
right now taking the lead in network again, but there's a smoke from Venezuela. Waiting for the troll. BKB completed on the Warlord, not the Alchemist, but the troll has his, so he might be able to get in, throw some nets on top of the opponents and get some kills.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. They might just go to Roshan themselves actually. With that new BKB picked up. He's incredibly strong now. Yo, careful.
Tower is under attack. Why is this so bloody difficult?
Gonna be the next team fight is gonna be potentially game deciding. Because whoever wins that is gonna get the Roshan as well.
The team is running towards Dynamo. They're like, please, come with the smoke, please. We need to go fight, please, let's go. And they are smoked up now. The observer word of the Dire has not been deworded, and they see the Alchemist in lane. Oh my god, this is not a good look. Starting with the silence, maybe that's a bit of a misstep, and now we have Sebas coming in the front line. There is nobody jumping on top of him either. Both teams are actually very cautious. The initiation for this upcoming skirmish could be the most important jump of each other players' lives.
Potentially, who knows what this career can lead to? Or this game can lead to in their careers. Yes, your typical, usual tense moment just before Roshan. Around Roshan.
Sending a familiar in for vision. Getting whacked by the Roche, Wisdom Rune collected by Sebas, and you have the luxury of both Ember and Underlord to send them around the map, because they can both TP Remnant respectively back into fight. But Venezuela is actually disengaging. They're abandoning the pit completely. They say, you know what, we don't want to take any part in that. Let's go farm for our next items, and Ecuador is not gonna let them go. They're not going in the pit either. They're like, oh, you want us to take Roshan? We gotta do otherwise. We're gonna smoke and try to catch one of you off guard first.
Like the Rubik potentially, but I think they see their chance to go for Roche. And we'll just do so. Here we go.
It's only first Roshan. You know what? I don't think I hate this from Venezuela. It's probably the correct assessment, as the Alchemist has no BKB, and they do have the higher farming potential with Troll, Battle Fury, and Alchemist with Radiance. Yes, Dynamo is an absolute beast, but this Ember has Mage Slayer, not a Maelstrom yet. It's farming way slower, and it's better to just give them Aegis and continue abusing the map dominance that you have as the Radiant for now, instead of risking to lose another 4 heroes.
Yeah, definitely. I know they have no god strength, so they might want to look for a fight themselves. Although the halberd is going to be a very good pickup for the Sven, of course. Not really what you want to build, but it's an amazing item against the troll.
Yeah.
But I still feel like you should be the one building it, because Sven is slot staffed as is, and he's basically on a full inventory already.
Did he disassemble the halberd later?
And to what though? Question, because he wants the Daedalus or Bloodthorn or MKB. Well, he could
I mean,
get an MKB.
there's clearly not enough farm on the rest of the heroes to actually build a halberd. The Visage will have Crimson Guard now, so he has the full aura set up, of course, with the exception of the pipe, which is not built by anybody on the Dire side yet. But speaking of auras, And halberds. There's good halberd on the pipeline for this Underlord.
Yeah, it's one of the best Underlord items in the game, especially against the Sven. It makes a lot of sense. These fights are gonna be really positioning dependent. Like whoever can initiate first is gonna have a huge advantage there. Tried to find the Underlord, couldn't quite get on top of him. And how much is this Aegis really gonna do? Because to begin with, Sven is not the best Aegis carrier anyway.
And he's also not the best tower hitter either, right? He uses God Strength for 1, potentially 2 towers, but then is he really gonna break your high ground? And of course, you don't necessarily want to go high ground with first Aegis, but they're pinging the troll, by the way. I think he's under vision, and that's why we have TPs from Slade trying to find him. He's running away, rolling in. Troll in the river will not get caught by the Spirit Brothers.
It's very important. Every misstep now can decide the game in an instant, pretty much. What is Alchemist going towards? If he finishes BKB, actually, that's a big pickup. Okay, losing support, not that important.
Yeah, least farmed hero on the map.
Yeah.
But they're pinging bottom, and Dynamo doesn't want to go. I think Sebas wants to set up for a couple of kills bottom, but Dynamo was hitting away at this tower. Now the Phoenix is coming, the TPs, mass TPs, BKB out from Ryoma. There's nothing that can cancel it, although Sebas is trying. That means the rest of the TPs will also get cancelled. And look at the Alchemist, he's trying to engage, but he might actually be way too deep into this Ven. Fiend's coming in the backline, but this is not the correct way to go unless you want to go to the Afterlife. Alchemist jumping in the front line, but Sebas coming in, cleaning Arthur Clears in. Nice use from the Rubik. Troll Warlord manning up. You can't fight into God Strength Sven. Also, what's the Alchemist still doing? Is he killing anybody? The Phoenix is running, the BKB is running low, the Manta doesn't achieve anything, and now your Alchemist just gets picked off by the 5 Dire Heroes.
And this is just the experience, I guess, coming through of the Ecuador squad. The way they fight is way better, obviously. They've crushed last team fight out Troll, he has no BKB either. Oh, nice disengage though. And they have no clue where he went.
We were questioning what are they going to achieve with this Aegis, and we thought maybe not much. Well, we shouldn't have achieved much, but if you give them easy fights like those, I don't know what to say.
Was no Halberd up yet either. Once the Halberd is up, it's really good against the Sven. Yeah, game now completely back to even, and we might actually have our most even game of the tournament.
Yeah, by far. Definitely on stream, at least.
Yeah, like literally 95% of games on stream were just pretty one-sided. Distant Rune in 20. We're looking to snag that one. And for the first time in the game, well, not anymore. And for the second time in the game, they have a gold lead. Also trying to build Radiance on the Ember Spirits, more evasions, some more mischance, Fiend's Gate bottom.
But no Maelstrom for him. That's why his farm is actually kind of lackluster.
He's going for the Radiance to, I guess, make up for that.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be the fastest Radiance, obviously. He has Mage Slayer BKB first, it's already minute 30. But Double Wisdom, stolen by Ecuador. That's gonna actually kind of upset the Marcy. Marcy, one of these heroes that would love now to, you know, accelerate towards her level 15 for the extra movement speed damage, but, you know, movement speed, sorry, not damage. Only level 13 now, farming these creeps in mid, will get her BKB, hopefully before the next team fight. Looking at the Dota Plus graph, it's only 53% favoring Ecuador, just as we called. Oh, Slade gets called by a Ray Kill Stormhammer, but the Yule Scepter and rolling out is going to be enough. And now they're turning onto the Ember. Sebas has the BKB and amplified damage, and Dynamo is here. He's going to use the God Strength, not going to kill the Troll, who gets out of there safely. Rubik TP out, and that is a great play from Venezuela, forcing a rotate and the God Strength to be used there. Not bad at all.
However, the long BKB timings are really getting whittled down by that. You have to be careful. You really want to fight with those if you can. Not use them for TP outs. Okay, now what's gonna happen here? Sladen, you're gonna be careful.
Under attack. Guys, you need to defend here. Yo, good guys. Middle tower got owned. What you gonna do? Get mad or get even?
I don't know what's gonna be up next, because the Roshan still has a little over a minute until it could be spawning, and that would be a very early spawn. Be another 4 minutes, and again, I feel like the more time passes, Venezuela looks better. Oh my god! Not if our lovely Troll gets caught here. He has no BKB for 28 seconds, and everybody's coming towards him. But the Fiend Gate opens to actually potentially allow him to come. Okay, even the Sven's coming with the TP. There's no way out, as Dynamo's taking a normal TP. He's still trying to run around. Has the battle trance if he wants to use it, and he will. Buying even more time, but Yule Scepter hiking is there, and there's nothing he can do.
That's a very big pickoff. Actually, trying to build an Aghanim Scepter. Why is that?
For who?
Troll.
What's Dispel?
Yeah, but against what?
You're the carry, bro. Don't ask me.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
what I'm
know
saying.
that this,
I wouldn't build it.
this is the default I see on every Troll building it, actually. I think it's just like the go-to for everybody. Oh, that's gonna be another kill. Find Ray kill. More like Ray killed. Oh, they're gonna get something in exchange at least. Pretty good one. Unleash used from Arcana. Slade out of the map for 47. Gem as well for the Marcy on top of the BKB. She's gonna start to hit harder and harder because this is a universal hero, of course.
Yeah, every level up gives her over 4 damage. And it's one of those supports that definitely scale really hard with items. Got BKB already, as you said. Going for Heaven's Helpert next. I want to get as many helpers as possible against the Sven. Kiting is the name of the game.
No objectives after getting that massive Troll kill.
Well, Roshan is up. I don't know
Okay,
if
he's
scouted
changing
yet.
mind, by the way. Troll swapped, he's going for Basher now.
Yeah, it's way better.
And this one might actually be quite a rough one if they lose. Arakis, he's not even taking the Watcher. Come on.
Goodbye, Rosie.
MKB for the Sven will start going for the Satanic. We'll have that after the Aegis expires. So, what's next? I mean, honestly, the bright side is, I guess, Dynamo is gonna be 6 slotted soon. But we have a BKB for Taco. Sorry, an Assault Kiras for Takozor. Quite a big one.
Quite a big one indeed. What is Sven looking for next? Satanic, okay, got rid of the mom. It's still a gold lead for Venezuela. The fighting power is definitely massive. This Alchemist actually strong enough to really do much of anything. Look at Visage, the damn aura buck.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh, Alchemist stun charging up.
Queen's Gate. They want to fight, and this is happening right now under the triangle. Can they chain anybody? Oh my god, the Familiars with a double AoE stab, but they're getting on Sebas, and Sebas, BKB or not, that's no more HP for him. Dynamo's trying to kill the Underlord. but he does not have sufficient damage now. Supernova, it's pitch perfect, but the Visage does not survive long enough. Yes, she does, as Tacklesaur is forced to run out of there. It's a Marcy for an Ember Spirit, but if that's gonna be all, unless Arrakis gets caught right now, as Slade is on top of him, Hit of Malice doesn't come quite in time. More stuff, nice, but there is no telekinesis that can save you from that pursuit of this Sven. Glimmer Cape, Gleipnir, push back with a Psychic Hairband, and the Alchemist is here. They're buying back, they want to fight. There's no more God Strength, and this Sven, we talked about the fact he's not the best Aegis carrier. If he dies once, no BKB, no God Strength, what is he gonna do next? What a goal from Venezuela right now surrounding this Sven. Dynamo is turning into the first 2 syllables of his name. It's a die indeed. The banner was also used in the process, and Venezuela with 2 buybacks completely catch Ecuador by surprise.
It's very hard to fight without your Ember Spirit, who is pretty much your main source of catch.
He died first.
Exactly, so they really shouldn't have changed further after getting the initial quote-unquote win.
Dire's middle
But
tower
Ruby can also steal it. He's a Thunderbolt right now. But I mean Stormhammer. Anyway, Thunderbolt.
The target prioritization from Venezuela was impeccable there, and yeah, despite what I thought was a phenomenal Supernova, only the Marcy being killed in that initial skirmish, and the triangle is very surprising to me, Black. And then I think Araki's being caught was seemingly good for Ecuador, but in the end it was just the biggest bait of the century, allowing for both him and the Marcy to buy back and punish the Dire side, who's right now definitely on the back foot, losing outer towers. And just a reminder for everybody, that was Aegis banner fight from Ecuador.
Dire are scanning.
Aegis, yeah. Again, it wasn't Sven who picked it up, right? You saw it, he respawned, and then what? I feel like if it went to the Ember, it could have gone potentially very differently. But,
Yeah, especially sometimes you get Sven use either Godstring or BKB for the first life, and he's saving at least one, if not both, for the second life. He went all in, trying to deal as much damage as possible, and he sustained himself through a team fight, and that's why we now see this skewed win rate probability favoring Venezuela.
They also have 7k lead. At this point, of course, it's not really that important. 7k gold is nice, but it's not that much. We have to see though. Arcana.
They're smoking again. They want to catch someone. They realize there's no buybacks, and they have the advantage of getting the Marcy. But Arcana turns around with the BKB and the Unleash. Now we have to have Dual Scepter Arrakis again in the middle of everybody. Supernova gets used, and the Marcy will fall. No buyback for 80 seconds. Riola, as the BKB tries to run away, but I think the catch might be there from Sebas with a Searing Chains just outside of the gate, and Rioma has to turn around. Gets Dual Scepter up in the air. The damage is not sufficient to even kill ZPP, and now the troll is dead. He has no buyback.
Alright, go for a Quickometer. Are they gonna look to go high ground? The creep wave is nowhere near close, so they can't threaten high ground, but again, very nice exchange. Sven is close to level 25. I mean, obviously, we know that Ecuador is gonna play good DOTA. I feel like the fights they're winning, they have no fights. They have no business winning those fights as easily.
And they've won so many fights. They have the kill lead, Black, but for the most part, they win fights and they do not really convert into objectives, and that's the case again. Granted, part of that is because of the split push from the Underlord with the Firestorm and the illusions of the Manta style from the Alchemist, but you also don't really have tower hitters, right? We've been talking about this at length already.
What else we have? Swiftblink now picked up an Alchemist. He's pretty much 6-slotted, right? So now it's time to maybe hand out some Aghanim Scepters.
Would you like to see get the first Ags?
Good question.
I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna say Underlord.
But they're all not that good.
I think the Underlord one is great because you cast Fiend's Gate in the middle of a fight and you have double Pit of Malice at the same time. You stay alive, you cast another one in about 12 seconds. As the game progresses, we're almost minute 40, the BKB durations will be lower and lower, right? So the Pit of Malice is actually becoming a very impactful spell the later we go in the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, with the talent and potentially AoE increase.
I mean, there's not that much stuff. There's not that much stuff to steal for the Rubik, right? I mean, it's good. Hacks on Rubik always feels great, but I don't think it's like, game breaking by any sort of imagination. And Aghanim's Marcy is a build, but she doesn't even have the Basher yet. So maybe if she gets Basher plus another item, and then you give her an Axe, she can turn into a core. But she's the least farmed hero on the Radiant side for now.
Green dude's top thing is about to get
The least
knocked
farmed hero, not by that far, but yeah. Didn't really find the transition to the core, but all you need is really Basher, right? Once you have Basher BKB,
tower is under attack.
Yeah,
you can probably even, I mean, you can't kill the Sven, but a timely bash could really turn the fight in your favor.
I don't think his aim is to kill the Sven. I think his aim is either to chain stun Sebas or to kill the Phoenix. That's probably what I suspect Marcy's goals will be in the next fights. I think Venezuela didn't really properly time the Roshan because they're really expecting a fight bottom. Rosh could spawn in 20 seconds if they're very lucky, but I don't know if the luck is on their side as Ecuador is actually beelining for their position right now as well.
Will be able to find him though? No smoke used.
Radiant.
Well, there is one for the Radiant, and Sebas is on the low ground. Do they have the chains down? All the familiars are there, but look at the Pit of Malice in the very edge. Silence instantly, and Sebas, he doesn't have anything to get out of there for now. He will just die unless the Yule Scepter, is he going to buy enough time for himself? Has the BKB into turning around Ryoma. With one in between 4 players. Where the rest of your team? They're not here, and you're no longer with them as the Alchemist is slowly getting chipped down and killed. No buyback on either of the two massive cores. They're trying to kill him with the Firestorm. Sebas being kept alive by the Sun Ray, but not for much longer as the overtime damage coming in from the Rubik and the Underlord is actually going to allow them to get out of there. Fiend's Gate being popped. Wait, what? What was that Fiend's Gate about?
Dire are scanning.
Which
Did
one?
you see that? He popped the Fiend's Gate.
Oh yeah, maybe he just, I don't know.
Maybe it was for Marcy to reposition her.
Or bait them into the fountain. The classic.
But it wasn't in the fountain black. It was placed like 5 meters away from the original spot.
Is it different now? No, it opens 2 portals. No,
What?
if he puts his in the fountain.
Yes, but he didn't. So I don't know if you're going to draw on the map so I can show you where he placed them. Okay, if you look right under the Twin Gate down for Radiant side, yeah?
Yeah?
See my X's? This is how the Twin Gate were placed.
Oh, well then I don't know. Misclick?
Yeah. Anyway, it could be. At the same time, Ecuador obviously came in swinging in that team fight, prioritizing, isolating the Troll and then the Alchemist. And despite doing that very nicely, which allowed them to then convert into Roshan, it was still only a 3-4-2 with a buyback force from the Phoenix. Yes, they have the upper hand because of the Aegis, but if Venezuela has buybacks for a future team fight, I don't think it will be as clear and, well, easy for Ecuador.
Well, it shouldn't be anyway. Of course, Alchemist, super late game, always falls off a little bit. Are we at that stage yet? Kind of, I guess. He still has Abyssal Blade to go to. Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of that Manta spell that he built. Really cost him a lot early on, and now even now he's probably going to be selling it. That Abyssal Blade would be absolutely massive against the Sven. 4.5k health on the Sven, by the way, and he's going to have...
Dire are
I don't know how much damage, like 1.2k or something crazy like that.
Is the Stroll slightly under farm for minute 43?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. So maybe he gets the Axe then?
Probably wants one more item at least at this point.
The Alchemist wants to get Abyssal, and I actually kind of think he needs it. I don't know what he swaps out. Potentially he plays around the Manta style. He has the Swift Blink actually. He can take out Phase Boots, right?
Mm-hmm. Rubik picked up a Hex now as well.
Oh, that's massive. That is big.
Yeah. It's huge.
But it's the same story. Again, Ecuador wins a fight, convert, okay, Roshan is an objective, but they can't do for anything else because they're always forced to go back and forth from bottom to top to mid to push the lanes. Now they push bottom, they have to go back top because the lanes is getting pushed. Look at the troll, he's playing by the Tormentor in their side, so he's probably gonna cut the next creep wave bottom as well. And this is burned already almost 50% of this Aegis timer.
I don't know what I keep giving it to Sven. Isn't Ember much better? Aegis carry. I feel like he's always the one falling low the fastest, and he's always the one being focused first. And he adds quite a lot of damage to the team fight. I don't think Sven is gonna get bursted like super easily.
You need to keep your troll alive somehow. You saw how redundant he felt in that team fight when he was alone in between 4 players, and maybe that's when the Rubik needs to steal some of the bigger spells from the opponent, something like a team fight. Maybe he just needs to steal Supernova, which of course is not the easiest thing to do. Because you pop out of the egg and then you press Fire Spirits and that's it. But you need somehow, maybe even building a Lotus or... I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Obviously, the big difference between the two lineups is that the Phoenix brings so much teamfight presence, as well as the Air Spirit to some extent, and you don't really have that. Like, what are your teamfight spells for the Radiant? You get Acid Spray and Hit of Malice, basically?
Yeah. Well, I guess a Rebound, not really. It sounds pretty much like it, yeah. But the Sven spells could also be insane. Like stealing Warcry for your team, or the Stormbolt.
Even Stormhammer. Yeah, I think that's true. I would like that. No, I think you're right. Probably Stormhammer might be the better option. And then, right, hear me out. Then you pull the Rubik and Ags, and then he has Ags Stormhammer.
Stormhammer Axe. Yeah, I mean, it could be very potent.
And then he has the basic Dispel. I don't know. This Alchemist doesn't care, though. He's not building any Ags anytime soon. He's like, you know what, guys? You've got no items. It's me that has to take up the big parts of this game. And sadly, though, Tackle is very big, but his HP pool is not up to par to survive the damage from this Sven plus the rest of the squad. Like, look at it. He hits for 479 damage without God Strength right now.
Yeah, his damage output is going to be absolutely crazy. He doesn't have a crit yet. It's really what he's missing. Like, if he had a Daedalus, he would be critting for over 2k damage. Could he replace anything for that? I think they have his Halberd potentially.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think the Halberd is... I mean, Halberd is great here, but I don't think it does as much for him as he thinks right now. Another interesting aspect, which I really got to ask you about, Black. I know you are stronger and obviously superior to the AI overlords. Dota Plus currently thinks Venezuela has 57%. I think it's very even, but I don't know if I would edge it towards them currently, as they're playing into an Aegis of the Sven, and they're still kind of trailing behind when it comes to net worth on most of their heroes.
Yeah, it really purely come down to positioning. Whoever gets the best initiation, the first stun, like heroes will get bursted. Both teams have an insane amount of damage. If they can burst the Alchemist, pretty much fight over, or the Troll even, that would be the best case scenario, of course. But it's incredibly difficult to achieve that.
Woke up. The party is about to begin. What's the buyback looking like? Let's maybe take a quick look. Okay, buyback for the Troll and the Underlord, buyback for the Sven and the Air Spirit. That seems to be all left available for now. Alchemist, 1,000 gold for his. I think minute 45. I think buyback for like the last minute or so already.
Yeah, buybacks at this time in the game are absolutely crucial. Even if there's support and you die without a buyback, you suddenly 4v5, and the fight becomes almost impossible to win for your team. So yeah, you gotta be incredibly careful with your positioning. Also, Hex,
Yeah.
of course, on the Visage.
One for Visit, one for Rubik.
That's right.
Phoenix going for the refresher here as well. Not too far from it. Just needs one more. Salamene. Quick intermission, Black. Do you think we're ever gonna get Salamene into this Dota?
What did she get? The Moon Queen?
God, I guess.
Moon God? It would be fun to have. I hope so. I don't know if we will, but I hope so. It would be a very
I like
fun
that.
concept. It would be a very
Watch-
fun concept. But what kind of
watch
skills
watch
would you
Dragon's
have, though?
Blood. Watch Dragon's Blood. Watch Dragon's Blood.
Wasn't there a scene where EB kind of destroys her? Or was there someone else?
I thought you haven't watched it. What?
I watched like some clips.
Bro, my man's watching OVAs, whatever they're called. What is this? Dragon Ball Z on YouTube in 2007, Black? Come on.
Yeah, of course. Can't go wrong with those, you know that.
You know what could go wrong right now? If Dynamo gets picked off in 25 seconds left on the Aegis, as he's kind of alone, the rest of his team is trying to catch up with him, but he's way faster because of the Warcry. Still, nobody finds, and this game of hide and seek doesn't go in anybody's favor. But I do say that Venezuela more than happy as it's another Aegis that hasn't taken any buildings.
Yeah, well, the high ground is so hard to breach against the Underlord, right? Underlord, Troll, Alchemist, Rubik. The high ground is insanely strong.
Oh, the baby's back.
Oh, you heard it before me even this time.
The rune of haste.
Actually, I don't know. Is it more like a boy or girl? What do you
What if
think?
it's a cat?
True, dude. I didn't actually talk to my neighbors.
Okay, well, how long have you lived there? Like 7 years?
Yeah, but you rarely ever, meet them?
Is this like a Singaporean culture thing or like just a black thing?
Nah, I mean, we just don't. You know how it's like as a gamer? We don't go out at normal times when other people go out.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we do occasionally meet each other, but they're from mainland China. They don't really speak a lot of English, and my Chinese is not good enough to. Well, I could ask if it's a boy or girl. It's definitely possible. Maybe I will next time.
They'll tell you it's a cat.
What do you think? Is it a cat, boy, or girl?
Radiant's top tower.
Probably not a cat. I'm just joking.
It's probably not a cat.
Yeah, probably not a cat. Oh my God, Slade gets slayed by Tekazor. And of course, a bit of an assist from Marcano here. Now the smoke continues. They want to get the top of the boss, but they have to do work. But they can't go any deeper on Araki. Still, nice pick off. First kill in a long time, I believe. In quite a few good minutes since the last one. Slicing some pizza, eating it up.
There's a pizza eating it up.
Level 25 for the Underlord. Oh wow, that's. Oh my God, Hostrom gets popped and jumping on him. He has an amplified damage to there's no crit. There's no payload, there's nothing. Has to get the mouse and now they're coming with the battle transport. The damage from the stand! The troll is gone.
1200 damage, my friend.
I just jinxed it. I said it is no crits, and then Dynamo said, watch this.
Radiant's top tower is
Well, there are no crits, but
Radiant's
do you need a crit if every hit is a crit?
Well, that's what I mean. And now they have another banner, of course. Buyback from the Marcy, Yules up in the scepter for the Alchemist, Hex. But can they hold for a full 60 seconds without forcing the Troll Warlord buyback? That is going to be the big question.
Radiant's top tower is
Yeah, and they also have Earthspirit coming back now.
Who bought back? Slade did buy back as that team fight began. So that could be one weakness, both the Marcy and the Earth Spirit. If you kill them, they're out potentially for the remainder of the game. The God Strength comes off cooldown, and they might not have the biggest tower hitters, but when the gods are up, the Strength is plowing through every building, and they're trying. Albert, X, leave us for the slow. Oh my god, Slade is going very deep, but the Pit of Malice is there to create some separation, and now Slade with the BKB, right-clicking the tier 3, but only 15 seconds until Troll is coming, and they're lifting Kami in the air, they're chaining him up, there's no Aegis, and they're gonna kill this Sven! They just need a bit more damage, but the sustain from the Sunray is there, and now the Satanic comes through. Bakkozor has to run away before he gets eaten by the Sven. Nice root again, the Troll is here.
Man.
The Pit of Malice is so good, they're pulling him back, and now the bashes, there's no more BKB, there's no more Sunray, there's not enough sustain, and the Sven is gone. 100 seconds does have buyback, but now, what's gonna be next? CPP seems to be on the menu for Bakkozor and the squad as the Visage will fall. It's gonna be not the easiest job, but still. 1v4, not enough HP to sustain himself through that damage, and that was a big mistake from Ecuador.
Yeah, the Sven definitely overstayed his welcome there a little bit. Yeah, not sure.
There's no force deaths. That's why. There's literally no force deaths.
Yeah, I told you. That's when your supports, I don't think they're cores.
There's an Axe on Slade, but he clearly didn't use it to turn the Sven into stone and save him.
Dire structures are fortified.
And now, if you force a buyback from the Sven, it's massive. And I think it's the moment in time. I'm gonna ask you, Black, what did you think about this? Do you just sacrifice your tier 3s to not use buybacks in your racks in mid?
Well, they're buying back, so the answer is no.
Well, they're gonna go deep. They're trying to chain stun this Ember Spirit, but he is very beefy under the sun right now. The BKBs get popped, and the God Strength is there. Can they kill them all before they TP back to safety? Ryoma gets out of there, but everybody else, well, they will be left as casualties to be collected by this double buyback core from Ecuador. Sadly for them, they only get a support and an offlaner who can still purchase back into this game, and right now, the advantage is definitely favoring Venezuela, as Dynamo will have no buyback for the next 7 minutes. Well, 8 minutes.
How's Roshan looking? 20 seconds.
Radiant
So they'll get that probably, then you have 2 lives, but again, on a Sven, that is not all that impactful.
Speedy rune of haste.
Ah. 3 seconds, boy. No, it happens all the time.
I think they gotta go for a push here to get the buybacks balance back kind of in their favor, or at least balance it out. Of course, the Sven buyback is way more valuable than the Underlord one, but no, Sebas gets caught. Can they change down him up? The Mindbreaker's silence is there, and the bash right away as soon as he lands, but finally, oh my god, Sebas playing with our hearts, going for an extra slide of his before he disengages. Now they're drawing on the map. Dynamo's under the smoke of the ninja gear, is trying to find someone as the God Strength and the BKB again.
Oh, they're catching the supports, I think.
They might be
Maybe
catching
even
even
the
the troll. This could be massive. He pops it, blinks, forward, roll in. It's gonna be Arcana only, but the Sven's going deeper. He really wants to get the troll, but the troll turns around, is gonna have to use the battle trance. It's trying to single out the Phoenix, and the Phoenix will die. Does have a buyback, but they're throwing him up in there. Buyback from the Underlord coming in, but it's a bit too late. Ryoma has no more HP. What are they doing? And they're chain stunning with the Sven. Oh my god, the bashes are there. The BKB is gone. He needs to use the Satanic, but Telekinesis is not gonna save him. The Sven, where is he in between all of that pops? The were crying. They're kiting him around. The concoction is there. Dynamo's out. No buyback for the Sven. And what a team fight from Bakkozor, who keeps on right-clicking, who keeps on bashing, who keeps on healing. And the Pit of Malice did such a good job that entire team fight. CPP will join him in the afterlife. It's a buyback from Sebas. Wants to come in. The troll no more buyback.
Sebas
Everybody's
doing
dying. It's a whole disaster. Buyback from the Alchemist, and there's 4 heroes standing. Wow, everybody's dead without a buyback. The boss and the Alchemist also repurchased. This is the way we wanted this qualifying game to go, Black.
Yeah, it's like a real gauntlet, a real bloody match we've been hoping for a while. But yeah, now
looking
nobody
up.
has buybacks again.
You want to catch someone. This is good. They're gonna get on top of the Phoenix. Tackles spots him. The Phoenix does not connect, but the ATOS and the unstable concussion. The bashes, the Abyssa, and Phoenix is gone. It's now gonna be Sebas in a 1 versus 3 for the remaining whole minute. Tackles was chasing. He's aware of Sebas' positioning. Does not have a manta to disjoint that slearing chains. The Rubik bought back. Okay. Why did Rachel buy back?
Well, they might. But I can't get megas. They might be trying to go for the GG. They have no buybacks on that, they know that.
It's only a Rubik though, he doesn't add that much to it. He's actually going to take the outpost to allow the Troll and the Marcy to join up when that's happening, as the first melee racks of the game is claimed. A Fiend's Gate activated right away. Rockies, what are you trying to do? Okay. A bit of an attempt of a surprise there, but now tackles or right-clicking away. He does not have the concussion. What the hex from Rachel is there? They're gonna pull Sebas back in, and this might just be it. Abyssal is there. Sebas, can you get out? Self-heals up in the air, and now Slade is here. Coming in with the BKB rolling in from both the Spirit Brothers. They're trying to buy time. The bashes are there.
You get out, you get out.
Sven is back, and look at the TP off and Front Dynamo going for the Alchemist. Hex instant for the Atos. And the G-Steam Tackle-Zor wants to turn around. The BKB from this Venom will not allow Tackle-Zor to get out, and it does get disarmed, but the Marcy's also here, jumping in with the bashes unleashed onto the Sven. They're trying to chain stun him up, but Taco will most likely fall. He does not have a buyback, but he's the Sven dying to Ryoma. He came in out of nowhere, got on top of the Sven, and the perfect rebound onto 2 heroes, and this might just be the end of game number 1, as Arcano plus Ryoma are putting the dot on the I, and they're crossing their X's, as Ecuador is looking at 4 Radiant heroes knocking down their base.
First match lost for Ecuador in the entire qualifier. It was a very close game, mind you, but very unexpected for me. Venezuela, of course, we knew they had, you know, some decent players, but after the beating that America gave them, I really didn't think they had a chance here.
What a game. And it's only game 1 of this best of 3 black. By far the most entertaining and the closest combat between 2 squads in this entire America's qualifier. Going close to 60 minutes, and it ended up in a buyback galore and bashes exchange between the 10 players on the server. In the end, it was the global presence of this Underlord that I personally feel like made the biggest impact from the mid game to the ultra late game, and we'll see some of that in these team fights. I don't know what else to say. It was a complete methodical showcase from both squads, but the question I have for you, could we argue that Sebas' and Slade slow start in the early to mid game is what let Ecuador down? Because they've been pretty reliant on these 2 players to deliver and carry them in the early mid game portions for the, well, first few rounds of the tournament.
Well, that's just the nature of the heroes, unfortunately. Like, again, Earth Spirit is not really a hero that recovers too well into a game. And I mean, he ended the game 1-9. Yesterday he was like 10-0. It was like night and day. Of course, Sebas, you know, he definitely had a couple more misplays. He wasn't as invincible as he was the last couple of days. It's looking a bit spicy, honestly. I didn't think, again, Venezuela had this much in them, individually even. Let me actually just check the rank. Okay, you entertain the people. Oh, wow.
Of course.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes,
They're
let
way
us know.
higher ranked.
Look, I'm
They're way
telling
higher
you.
ranked than Ecuador.
I did tell you, I did think Venezuela was one of the top contenders in this qualifier, and you know, ranks mean a lot, but you can't say the fact that they're much higher ranked than Ecuador matters, because Ecuador played up to par throughout the game, right? It was a very even game that could have went either way, despite the rank advantage that the Venezuelans might have.
Yeah, but it does mean that they're at least as good, if not better, individually. And of course, it can't be dumbed down like that, but the initial assessment that they're the heavy favorites might have been quite wrong, after all. Didn't have all the information.
No, that was your initial assessment. I'm joking, of course. I love this. Was rewatching the final team fight there, and I think that communication between the 5 players from Venezuela is what impressed me the most in the final 3 to 5 minutes of the game. Even for us that had oversight of this entire map, I feel like it was quite hard to cover all of the good micro players they were doing, and the target focus again is something that I keep on bringing up. They were prioritizing the right heroes, they were covering for each other, they were kind of baiting the Ecuadorian squad, to buy back, to overcommit, to get out of their high ground and allow Arcana and Rioma to come in with the bashes and turn around the team fights. And that is a great sign for a team that right now is a single map away from qualifying to Riyadh.
What a story it would be for them. As we said, Venezuela, very strong Dota region in the earlier years. Tapered down a little bit in recent years. But maybe a win here, maybe a win at the big stage could really reignite it.
Yeah, I hope game 2 is going to be no Visage, because yes, he built the auras, but at the same time, Beastmaster was available. And I think if I would have to single out one of the heroes out of the whole 10 that were in the server that like the impact wasn't not just great, it just kind of was non-existent, was the ZPP Visage. And that's not because the way he played the hero, is just it got countered in so many aspects. Like the familiars were dying to acid spray at so many points, and the stuns were good but not long enough. And I feel like a different offlaner might have actually allowed Ecuador to scale and have a better tempo in the mid game.
If anything, the Visage actually helped the Rubik more, because the Rubik got insanely rich through all these last hits with the Soul
Assumption.
Yep. It's yeah, there's a reason we don't see that hero a lot. Maybe they were trying to experiment around a little bit because it's a new patch, but again, this is probably not the time to experiment around. It's 1 BO3 that gets you to the event, 1 loss and you're out. You gotta get back to what actually got you here in the first place.
Your winning ways. Gotta go back to the winning ways. Sadly for them, it wasn't the Sebas Ember Spear or the Slade Earths this time around. The Spirit Brothers have been defeated, but let's see what they are gonna be cooking up in the second game, as we're gonna send it to a short break. Welcome back to the IESF Americas Extravaganza. We are one potential game away from crowning our second and final slot of the Americas Pool A, as Colombia came in with the upset over Ecuador. Black, game 1, the longest game we've had on stream all qualifier long, and Venezuela taking down the undefeated Ecuador.
Yeah, it was about time that they met their match, cause so far it was a little bit too easy for them. Maybe a little bit too easy for their own good. I don't know what kind of mindset they came into this game with, but they weren't as sharp for sure, and Venezuela didn't let them be as sharp as they were in the other games. They really gotta dig deep now, because they're one loss away from not going to Riyadh.
And I feel like both teams are playing so well that it would be it will be a travesty that, well, one of them will not make it, right? But that is the luck of the draw, and sometimes you gotta deliver to the best that you can every single time, right? And if you can't be the best in this region, well, what are the chances you're gonna make it versus some of the other titans from the other regions? Sad that one of these teams' journey will end, but at least Venezuela is one step closer than Ecuador is right now. Everybody else off stream, we have the other qualifying match between Colombia and the United States of America, and I will give you all a little bit of an update, as United States has managed to win first map in a little over 30 minutes. But if you want to stay up to date with all IESF news, you can go to iesf.gg and find out what other teams have qualified at both Dota and other events, of course other esports titles, and how does the World Esports Championship starting to shape up right now. Good. Now, Black, let's talk about drafts. Sebas got his hands on the Ember Spirit, which was arguably the undefeated hero of this entire tournament and even the European qualifiers. Sebas was great on him previously, but this time around he met his match with the overall last pick Alchemist. Do you think we're gonna see them try the Ember again, or they just gonna try to find something else for him to play mid?
I definitely don't think it was necessarily a drafting problem. Like, yeah, the Visage and the Earth Spirit, they're pretty hit or miss heroes, but they can definitely work. And if they replayed the same game, the same draft, it could just go completely the other way. You know, so if anything, what they need to focus on is just like for example, that one death that Sebas had, he just walked in and died. You remember he had the amplified damage rune, he just literally walked in and died. And these kind of plays are very, we haven't seen that from the team. You know, so I don't know what was up with them, if they were like really relaxed or felt too confident or whatever it was, but that is not the Ecuador that we saw the other days. And again, we keep coming back to this. Against lesser teams, you can get away with a lot more mistakes, of course, but apparently Venezuela wanted to get away with those.
I think a big problem with this, when you're a team that has a lot of success in the initial phases, but you don't have sufficient experience, which I could argue is probably Ecuador here, and you've been steamrolling all of your opponents, the first time you meet a bit of an opposition, you start panicking, and maybe you start committing more mistakes, which again is, like you said, something that we haven't really seen them do. But now, this is the cliche, you know, we've said it, everybody says it for decades of centuries. Pressure makes diamonds, and Ecuador is under a lot of pressure. But if they really want to prove that they're a high-caliber national team, they have to come in guns blazing and forget about that defeat in Game 1, because it's the first time they find themselves with the back towards the walls, so they need to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, they do. Because, again, one last chance, it's all they get. Need to win 2 games straight. Venezuela has them on the ropes. We don't know how a team like Ecuador deals with defeat at all. Maybe it empowers them. Maybe it weakens them. We don't know. It could be pretty devastating to lose in a fashion like that too. It was a very long game. Well, we can't really talk about exhaustion because like one game like that is really nothing for them. They play hours upon hours every day. Yeah, I hope the team leader can keep things together. Make sure they don't, panic or anything, because being in a BO3 elimination and being down 0-1, it can be pretty taxing.
Can I just add a little bit of, the storyline of Raykill, if he does make it to LAN, would be absolutely incredible, right? I mean, we've talked about him since the beginning of the tournament, and if he actually does play at Riyadh, I think it would be such a beautiful story, honestly, and I think he deserves it. I honestly think he deserves it, and of course, there's still one more map that they need to conquer, but they're gonna start by trying to do that with a Phoenix opener. Again.
Yeah, well, Ecuador picked it last time.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm still not sold on it. I don't think Phoenix is a first pick worthy hero. I feel there's too much other stuff out there. We'll see what they answer. Hoodwink, hey. Yeah, I mean, Hoodwink and Phoenix, they don't really interact much with each other. Just 2 support heroes. Not really counter anything. But we know how strong Hoodwink can be.
They're pretty independent of each other, I think that's correct.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
What about a Beastmaster? No, never mind. I'm just going to stop talking about the Beastmaster at this point. I think the 2 teams... they want to play it, they will leave it uncontested, I assume, for what will be the remainder of the series. And that's probably best for both of us, because we know if Beastmaster's on the server, that team has a pretty much default win, and we don't want to see that. We like to see games being contested as the first game once. The question is here, how much are you going to be valuing the same offlaners that you just played?
Well, the Visage probably not as much. The Underlord had a fantastic game, however.
Yeah.
Underlord Phoenix is...
Pretty good, actually. I think Pit of Malice and
it can be
Supernova.
okay. Yeah. It's not like proper protection, you know. It's not like any stuns or anything like that, but it's definitely annoying to run into a firestorm and it hits. So could work. Be decent combo. We'll see. Maybe they have something better planned. They actually take a lot of time this time around though, just for bans. Pretty
How
unusual.
much better planned? Well, they're clearly focusing Sebastian. They're respecting him by banning the Shadow Fiend and the Ember Spirit together, right?
Radiant team. Dire team pick.
Also, the snap was classic because of Phoenix and Ecuador going for the Underlord steal. So a bit of a swapperoonie this time around. Phoenix for Venezuela and Underlord for Ecuador. Okay.
I just realized a lot of Dota heroes have only 4 fingers.
10 seconds remaining.
How many fingers does Phoenix have?
5 seconds remaining.
2,
Oh,
1 on each side.
okay.
Yeah. He has feet. No.
I see. Okay, that's what we're going for. I understand. Thank you, Black, for that.
No, seriously. Look at no, I think Axe only has 3 fingers, right? We research that real quick.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. Do you think Venezuela kind of got forced into this? They were hoping to get the Under. Never mind. You know what? They got Darkseer. I don't think they care about the Underlord or the Mars. They are more than happy to get this. Vacuum? I mean, we were talking about the teamfight combo wombo that was kind of lackluster last game from them. Now you've got this in droves.
Well, depending on what they
5
pair with it.
seconds remaining.
Because right now, Phoenix Darkseer is nothing.
Radiant team.
For the laning phase.
Oh, tiny. Okay, tiny Darkseer, that's something. That is nasty. Like Avalanche into the vacuum. It's very, very strong.
And Avalanche is a great tool of protecting the Phoenix Supernova as well.
10 seconds remaining.
Interrupting any of the right clicks that you could get on top of the egg. Very good draft from Venezuela. You can tell they've got the experience when it comes to drafting from Rakill, I assume. As right now, they are the ones to put Ecuador on the back foot. That will stand. I think they'll need to burn a bit of reserve time here as they need to reveal 2 of their heroes here.
Radiant team.
I'm gonna go first for the Gyrocopter. Huh.
That's a classic answer to the Phoenix.
Yeah, but how good
And
is...
hit everybody else.
It's quite good versus Darkseer as well, because he's a range hero, so he doesn't need to get close next to the Iron Shell.
10 seconds
Quite good, I
remaining.
think. But also rather squishy if it's a position 1.
5 seconds
And for a
remaining.
Tiny that, you know how much burst he deals, you know, you get a Darkseer, Iron Shell, Surge, Blink, Avalanche, Toss. The Gyro can die in the first 15-20 minutes of the game.
We don't even know what position Tiny is though. It might be just a +4 Tiny.
Yeah, but so could Gyro. Gyro could be a position 5, right?
Could be. Darkseer Tiny sounds actually like a nasty
Dire
lane too.
team pick.
And they get the Marcy as well. Oh my god. If you can't beat them, steal them. That seems to be the name of the game here. And we saw the Marcy Phoenix counter last game. This
Dire
time around,
team
they're gonna
back.
have it for themselves. And Life Stealer. Wow, is this 2013? I mean, of course, we have Phoenix, Marcy, and Underlord and Hoodwink. None of them were in game in 2014, but Life Stealer Gyro could be a hell of an battle between the 2 hard carries. Because right now with Marcy, yes, you could play Marcy carry, but this is most likely a position 5 or 4 with the Gyro safe lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Probably, yeah.
Radiant
I mean,
team
Marcy
back.
Gyro is a very strong combination.
They're banning the Elk.
So is Hoodwink Underlord. It's a fantastic lifestealer game though.
Yeah, I like both drafts, honestly.
10
Aw.
seconds remaining.
So this kind of confirms it's a, well,
5
we
seconds
were pretty
remaining.
certain it's a Tiny support. It could still be Tiny mid, but I think you don't want to play Tiny mid when there's an opportunity to get countered by Ecuador, who has overall last pick, right? You have one more ban, and I assume it will be the Huskar ban, which is what Venezuela went for in game 1 as well. But with the recent Viper buffs, risking to play Tiny Mid into Viper, it's not something you want to do. And Viper does very well versus Lifestealer as well.
Yeah, it could be an option.
What would you like to see mid for Venezuela here? I assume, like I said, I think they're banning Huskar because that seems to be one of the bans that they prioritize a lot. And then put this Tiny on the support.
Remaining.
I'd probably support Tiny with Ducks, yeah.
Yeah, so what do you want to see them pick mid?
Mid pick is pretty... Well, that's
No
something
IESF.
that's open. It's open and doesn't get hard countered by too much. And they're banning a lot of mid heroes themselves, so it might just be the Tiny mid actually. I could pick something like a Spirit Breaker.
Dire team
They
pick.
wanted to.
I have a wild idea for Venezuela here that I think would be really good, but it would be, of course, I don't know if they have a specialist in mid for that. Running an Earth Spirit mid here, I think would be really good. And then you would have like the whole aspect of the Lifestealer Bomb, another hero that can run around with the Iron Steel Surge, it's a Pacemaker. The silence is quite
5
good.
seconds
I would
remaining.
really like to see that, but obviously they could go the safer route and pick the Lina here.
Yeah, could just be a Tiny middle too, and pick a +4. Pretty open still.
Radiant team pick. Lena.
I told it. Of course I did. Come on.
Boring.
I mean, I told it's the safe option, right? And that this Gyro doesn't look as hot anymore, does he? Facing a lot of the burst and even overtime damage, both magical and physical,
10 seconds
coming in from the
remaining.
dire side. Ecuador might actually be forced to
5 seconds
come up
remaining.
with something completely surprising here to turn this game around. Okay, I've got one. I don't think we're seeing it, but there's a universe where Ecuador picks Arc Warden here.
Sure. If you have an Arc Warden specialist, it's a great option.
Yeah.
I mean, again, there's so many good options. I think Puck could be great too. They definitely need some more team fight. They need some more lockdown.
Points away.
You may now select
Angle
Oh.
here into Lina. Real question.
I mean, Sebas is a Pangolier specialist. The problem is, double shield crash is great. If the Lina goes for the afterburner, which is what we've seen from previous mid lane Linas, Pango just struggles a lot. So it's going to be up to Tacklezor to see if he prioritizes his scaling into, well, mid-late, or if he wants to trump this Pango. And so far, he seems to go for the thermal runaway. I prefer that normally, and considering how Tacklezor played the Alchemist as a position 1 from the mid lane, I'm not surprised to see him going for that one.
Look at the tiny skin. Turtle. A rock
I
turtle.
love it. He's carrying a coconut tree.
I didn't know that skin existed. It looks pretty badass. I like Venezuela's draft a bit better actually.
Yeah, so do I. I don't think the Gyro is looking that great here, and I think Pangolier, although a great hero, you know me, I think it's much better as an offlane. Hey, if there's someone that can make it work, it's Sebas Pangolier, but they're counting on a lot of plays happening from him this game if they want to keep themselves in the tournament. Otherwise, Venezuela are looking primed to make it to Riyadh. And also, what is Slade playing? Is he the Marcy or Hoodwink? So Marcy, position 5. Of course, you ought to pair him up with Dynamo's Gyro. Okay. How does Underlord fare versus a Lifestealer lane?
That's pretty tough for him. I mean, Lifestealer's right-clicks you and he never loses any health. But the Hoodwink, of course, can put in quite a bit of harass damage. But generally, it's very, very tough for Underlord, especially as Lifestealer gets higher levels. You can still farm. There's always the option to pull creeps as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they picked it in response to it because it's very strong. It's good against Gyrocopter too. It's pretty good against Pangolier too. Like, Pango doesn't really do anything to Lifestealer.
Well, this is it, Black. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's the final potential map of the Americas qualifier, with Venezuela wanting to join Argentina and the United States and the World Esports Championships. The heroes are now already smoked up, going for the bounty room.
Yeah, no team should give away first blood here. You gotta be so careful. We've seen first bloods happen here way too many times in this qualifier, in my opinion.
Oh. Yeah, definitely way too many casualties happening, especially in this dire portion of the jungle. Not too much. I don't remember any invasions of the Radiant jungle or the dire triangle. It's exactly here, as you pointed out, where the players have been, meeting and sacrificing themselves before the horn sounds.
Feast is very interesting nowadays. That allows you to deny creeps from 75% health. I don't know why they made that change.
It maybe tried to give something to the Lifestealer after they took away one of the HPs he was getting from the creep last hit.
Yeah, I guess. Obviously, I haven't seen a Lifestealer since the new patch. I mean, not that much changed. But...
Since the new patch, I mean, you haven't seen Lifestealer in 2 days?
Yeah.
It's a long time to not see Lifestealer, I gotta admit.
That's right.
Hopefully this is not gonna be the longest pause. We're taking a look at the facets, and hey, what can I say? That Raykill went for the crash landing, even on the support. The nerfs apparently don't seem to have been enough. Also, the Darkseer took the quick wit. That means the attack speed based from intelligence. And I guess those are the only ones worth mentioning. On the right, dire side, of course. As
he did go for the thermal runaway, by the way. Which is, of course, better scaling into the mid late game. Big right click deeps.
Nothing too
don't
special.
Die here.
Arcana. It's only a acre shot, not a bushwhack, so the Phoenix will get out of there pretty much unscathed. Also forcing out the blood grenade. That's quite a big one. 50 gold, and of course the blood grenade needs to reset. Let's cool down.
His lane is kind of crippled now, though. No fire spirits. Level 1 is a big problem for him.
Yeah, especially as he's the position 5. So Lifestealer's not going to be too happy about that. It's like, oh, you should have died. Just get fire spirits to help me.
The battle begins.
Yeah, funnily enough, sometimes it's actually better to die than to skill the wrong ability. Kind of like Luna
trust
skilling
me.
Beam level 1.
Trust me, I've done it this morning. I was running away from like 5 players getting on top of me on the disruptor, and I had to force scale kinetic field. I was useless for the first 7 minutes, basically.
Yeah. That sounds about right, unfortunately.
You learn to live and live to learn, my friend. That's the name of the game. This mid lane is actually the one I'm most intrigued about. I potentially topped some action as well, but yeah, Pangolier or Lina. Pango wants to push the lane, Lina wants to actually keep it pretty even so she can last hit and harass.
It should be on paper at least an incredibly hard lane for Pango. Let's see what the boss can make happen here.
You know what Raykill can make happen? Raykill can use a dispose to throw tiny. There's actually a reason, sorry. A reason throwing Raykill on the high ground with a dispose. He tried to do it with a Rubik earlier, didn't manage to do it. Someone did. Now this is working. Oh my god, the iron shield damage tossed. Reason will barely stay alive there.
The strong lane, the tiny, and the Darkseer, especially as the levels get a bit higher. Definitely have to respect it. Or the lane, rather.
Yeah, also Marcy into them is not great, but at least the Gyrocopter should have a good time, right? We talked about the fact being range hero versus Darkseer is always ideal. And he's a proper range hero, not like the Luna.
What's wrong with Luna?
She's not really range, is she?
Well, then what is she? Fake range.
I think she's got less of range than Monkey King, doesn't she?
Yeah, or maybe the same. Definitely very similar.
What in God's green earth is happening right now?
Well, so far, another very calculated start from both teams, as of course everybody realizes the importance of this game. But again, like I said, this mid lane is the one that I'm most intrigued about. And the proof that the boss is the Angolier god himself. He has 6 last ahead of the Lina in minute 2.5. This is incredible from him.
No easy feat for sure. Also makes me wonder how much she likes Lina. You know, it's a lot of times a matter of how practiced are you with the hero. Yes, Lina isn't the hardest to play, but being very practiced and comfortable on a hero still makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Clearly was an absolute alchemist expert. If Ecuador loses this game, or wins this game, Venezuela might be actually considering to prioritize the alchemist in game 3, as I think they would have loved to play it here as well, but it got banned during the second ban phase.
Which hero was that?
Alchemist?
Oh yeah, Alchemist. Yeah, they seem to be very comfortable with that hero. A couple of nice strats with it too. Also our boy Darkseer looking kind of quite far away from mana boots too.
Oh, nice rebound on top of him, and now the Rocket Barrage is coming in, but the Surge should be sufficient to get him out of there for now.
Denied.
Yeah,
turret
well,
has been killed.
again already a 1k lead.
Ecuador coming in, doing us like a oh, DPP will have one. Oh, never mind, he just cancelled the TP because he doesn't want to waste the. And look at Arcana getting caught by Slave. Oh, the Bushwhack doesn't latch. He's still trying though. Has another acorn shot in a couple of moments. Tries to wrap around the tower to maybe catch the Phoenix off guard. Got 9 last hits from the Slade Hoodwink. I suspect this is probably going to be a very fast Gleipnir Daedalus this time around, Black.
Very, very possible.
Taco. Forced out to stack for himself in the jungle, actually, right now. Quite curious. I don't think I've seen this spell build in a long time. I think the Dragon Slave is just too good, but he's really going 3 points in faster. And Ryoma is just dying to the right click. Oh my god, it's pretty much a solo. That was a very little contribution for the ZPP as Slade draws the first blood onto this Lifestealer. And Hoodwink killing a Lifestealer, level 3? I hate to say it, but maybe Hoodwink should get nerfed.
Dire's top tower is under
Yeah, how did it even happen? I didn't really catch it. Must have been very low health on the lifesteal already.
He was 1v2ing the atrophy aura of this Underlord. He didn't get quite that low. He was around 60% HP, and then he tried to run away and die. Oh, Blade got a bit greedy there. Arcana was waiting for him on the high ground just to kill, and now both supports will need to refill up. One by respawning, one by making the way to base. Arcana, why are you in the river? You're gonna get swashbuckled and killed. Arcana, okay, denies the rune, but he swashbuckle is finally connecting, and the shield crash for double measure. I assume he hit the shield crash because I can't see it.
Yeah, he did. He's not supposed to be this rich against Selena. How does he have 1,000 more net worth?
He dominated the lane, bro. Sebas doing Sebas things. They got angry for dying a couple of times in the first game.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. How can
Yo,
this do that?
yo, did you just see what happened?
No.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Arcana left the fountain, then TP'd mid to pull the bottle from the Lina, but because he wasn't in the fountain, the bottle wasn't refilled. And look at the contest, Sebas! Oh my god, he went so deep alongside Reason. They really want to fight for the Wisdom Rune. They're not gonna get it, but they're gonna find a kill in exchange. The mid laner coming in for this Wisdom Rune, sadly not gonna get it, but finding the Tiny is still not that bad, as he TP's back to mid to continue his farm.
Yeah, he's having a fantastic game again. That's the Sebastian we know and love. Yeah, let's see what he can do throughout the entire game. Again, 3k lead in 7 minutes is pretty... It's pretty tough to come back from that already, to be honest.
Oh, Bushwhack, perfect. Acorn shot, and now Slade shining bright like a diamond on the squirrel, and they're going for more. They're trying to run out of there. The Lifestealer's trying to get to safety. Can he get out of there? Nice. It's very speedy on the Stealer. They need some TPs. It doesn't matter. Oh, instant cutting the tree, but the Acorn shot and the right click from Slade does get the job done as Raykill shows up. But it doesn't matter. Even if you kill the Hoodwink, you lost your Lifestealer for it. And now you're Lina in the mid lane, getting double teamed by the Pangolier and the Marcy.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, it's the problem with Lina. It's a safe hero. Well, it's safe for laning. Post laning phase, the hero really isn't that safe anymore. He'll need his BKB, he'll need his Gleipnir. But the problem is, if you're so far behind in this early game portion already, yeah, where's the comeback?
Vacuum Wall, Supernova, that's the comeback, but so far they don't have it. They're gonna have to use the tools at the disposal, and that's pre-level 4, level 5s, but they're still managing to kill this very farmed Hoodwink. Both the position 4s actually, 12 and 13 last hits respectively for Hoodwink and the Phoenix Plank. That's quite a good start for them. Definitely much better than the rest of the cores on Venezuela. This Lifestealer is so underfarmed, especially when compared to the Gyrocopter. 40 last hits behind essentially, and look at the network chart, please. It's incredibly looking.
Okay, the network chart, yeah, as you said, it spells trouble, to say the least. At least they kind of maintain the 4k lead. It doesn't get bigger, and that's always a good news. But 4k at this very moment is not little. Quite serious.
And this seems to be like the formula that has had success for Ecuador, right? Sebas and Slade just doing what they want around the map, ZPP assisting them and giving the space to Dynamo. Last game, Sebas, Slade, and ZPP couldn't really do that, so Dynamo was forced to try to join up with them, and in the end they ended up falling. But now, going back to what has been the true tested tactic of this Ecuadorian side, they already taking 4k gold lead, almost 5, and they're smoking up. They have XP, gold, everything going in their favor right now.
And many teams have tried to stop them and come back from the disadvantage that they have, well, been forced to let go.
Yeah, but unlike the USA, right, we've said sometimes do a bit of the funky stuff, the Dagons and Rubiks, Venezuela hasn't really, Ecuador hasn't really done that, as that's why they're stepping up on the gas pedal. They're going deeper. The wall is gonna be there, but ZPP comes in with the Fiend's Gate, and they're gonna most likely kill Harkano. Nice Fire Spirits, but the damage is there as Sebas is fully charged. Raykill comes in, tries to stop the right clicks, but the only thing that will be stopped will be his attempt, as Sebas is now level 9 on this Pangolier.
Yeah, we might be looking at a pretty big one here again. That's the surprising thing with Dota today. I thought these... what's the right word for it? Instabilities of teams wouldn't be so apparent anymore as time passes. Cause let's say you talk about yourself last year, right? As a pro player,
Okay.
you will always say that you're better this year than you were last year. Because otherwise, you're just bad, right? Because you didn't improve what other people did. So you should always be able to say that you're better today than you were yesterday. Which means that these skill gaps, like while they're still obviously present, the instability shouldn't be as, visible simply because people are getting better and better. If that makes sense. But then
No,
again,
of course.
Dota is a game of mistakes, literally. Of like a million different factors. So it also makes sense why there are instabilities, of course. But yeah. I wonder if there's ever gonna be anyone or any computer, anything that can master this game. I don't know a single game that has more like variables than this.
Bad dudes, middle
I think the
tower,
beauty of it is not that Dota is a game of mistakes, but most games played by, well, humans are about mistakes, right? Because if we wouldn't be humans and everything would be perfect, you would assume it would always be equal or even. Similar to, again, I guess I can refer to a chess game, Black. If both sides play a flawless chess game, it will always end in a draw. Of course, Dota can't be a draw, but it can drag on for a long time, as Slade is gonna be dragged to the depths of hell by that amplified damage Laguna Blade of the Lina. Somehow, the Iron Shell actually gets the last hit.
Well, I actually got buffed quite a bit too. How much damage I did now? They're 90.
Yo, green dudes. Something
Damn.
bad is happening.
Back in my days,
Was it like 60 or 45, something like that?
I was way lower before. I think it keeps getting increased. I think it was 60 and then 70, then 80 and then 90. Next we got...
2000,
Isn't it-
2010s.
Isn't there damage talent too for it?
There is, but I think it's quite
Level
late. I think
20.
Level 20,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't believe Gyrocopter's just allowed to farm there. Like, you gotta gank him there and not just allow him to free farm like that.
I don't think you can kill him. Without Laguna Blade, which obviously is on cooldown, I think that's why he's feeling so comfortable.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to kill him though to bully him out. Just make your presence felt and make sure you can't just free farm your entire jungle. Look at his net worth compared to Lifestealer.
What are your thoughts on like Phoenix getting the last hits and not the Tiny for Venezuela?
You mean
As a
farm
support.
distribution wise?
Yeah. Oh my God, Taco, about to be eaten alive. I know I've made that joke like 3 times, but his name is Taco. We gotta make this joke. Yeah. What do you think about it? Don't you think Tiny getting the blink would be much better than the Vessel and the Phoenix?
Yeah, I do think so. They definitely need a way to come back into the game, and that would be through the Blink Dagger. But until then, they don't really have good safe stuns. Well, at least Lifestealer's getting some more farm now. Obviously, so is Gyro. 8k lead and 15.
Oh, they're gonna find this Underlord, but I don't think they can kill him. Nice avalanche toss as the wall of replica. The Phoenix is there. The rotation. Okay, they can kill him. I actually thought this trio of Hoodwink, Marcy, Pango would come in faster, but not quite. Bushwhack also not connecting. They're throwing a lot of spells that are not just
What is happening right now?
on target.
Well, skill shots are pretty tough to hit sometimes. But very tanky, 900 health, safety bubble.
Again, another miss Bushwhack, and now the avalanche is much easier to connect, but the rare gyrocopters here, and look at the flat cannon damage, melting the first hero. Can they go deeper? Yes, the Fiend's Gate is there. The Pit of Malice Supernova will actually just allow them to get another easy kill. Triple for Dynamo. Tackle-Zor on the high ground gets lashed onto with a Bushwhack. Sebas gets the Lina kill. And it's a 4-1 after that Dynamo ZPP rotation.
Only silver lining is that Lifestealer has to farm the entire time. But if you can't farm faster than your enemy, you're always gonna be in trouble regardless. This gyrocopter is just absolutely massive.
Bottom tower is under
And so is
attack.
the bus. And so is the
ZPP.
the Underlord.
Yeah. Right now, this gyrocopter of Dynamo is doubling the last hits of the Lifestealer, more or less. 182 to 97. It's okay, 80% more last hits. Ay, Rakiel, what were you doing there?
Dire's bottom tower
Is under attack.
I don't know. It's a great question, I think, I'm asking right now. I don't think we'll find out the answer, as Ecuador is answering actually a lot of our questions, Black, with an absolute statement of a performance, at least in the first 20 minutes of this game, too. Right now, they are heading very much to the deciding Game 3, as I don't see them making enough hiccups for Venezuela to actually start coming back into this game. The Lifestealer needs a Radiance. He's not even close. I mean, he's got 3.4k. He's gonna have it in the next minute and a half, 2 probably, but it's a bit too late. You need the Radiance to keep up the farming, and it's not like he built Armlet first, right? Sometimes you get Armlet and Radiance a bit later, which is fine. It's not the case this time around.
Yeah, you're spot on with that. But I'm struggling to see a way back for the Dire. Like, their lineup is in essence quite greedy. They only have one real reliable stun. Like, Lina's stun is not that reliable. Until you get Flame here at least.
Oh my god, they get caught
And there he
again.
goes again.
Mamma mia, here we go again. And Sebas must feel very comfortable now and confident. You know, his Ember Spirit didn't get shut down, but, you know, kind of didn't prevail. And he went back for the Pangolier, and he's like, okay, oh, I'm still me. I'm still very good at what I do.
Yeah, the self-confidence is definitely back there again. You can see it from the way he plays.
middle tower. Everyone.
Yeah, he's gotten his flair back. That's what I can say. And right now, they are running towards Arcana. He's not even alone. The rest of the team is nearby. Can he get out of there? Nope. As the Dispose will be chaining him perfectly after the Atos expires. And you need a Blink on the Seer for the Blink Vac wall. You need a Sunray Shard for the Phoenix so she can use both Supernova and the Sunray. But I don't think you're getting them anytime soon. That's basically what I'm saying. Hopefully there might be a Lifestealer finding Wisdom Realm. No, he's not even checking it. That could have been a good steal, but he TP'd back as Rakiel. Oh, good blink out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That was under huge pressure though. And again, I don't really think you have what it takes to stop them. I'm expecting Ecuador to play quite safe here. You know, not necessarily go high ground, take the Aegis, go methodically.
This might also be Venezuela not giving up just yet because they might try to tire Ecuador out, right? Ecuador has already played a series today that was kind of competitive, especially in the second game, right? At the same time, Venezuela has experience. They've played a full best-of-3 versus Mexico at the beginning of the tournament. Ecuador doesn't have that experience as a unit. So, you know, there is a slight potential of that there. But as I say that, reason gives us reason to believe that the game will not be dragged much longer.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's got that written all over it, right? And yeah, Ryoma dead as well. 13k lead. They're probably gonna take Aegis at some point soon. It'll be pretty easy. Yes, the life kick one, right? Oh, side kick one, yeah. They got the life steal for free. Should be a pretty easy Roshan for them.
If you're playing for Venezuela right now, Black, in your experience, what are the conversations like? Are people quiet? Are people still trying to theory craft potential ways of coming back? Or the discussion right now is pretty much, okay, what went wrong? What are we changing for the next draft? And how are we coming for the deciding Game 3? Like, what is the status like right now on the team speak of this squad?
Well, probably increasingly bad. But these games are just not good for you or your team morale. There's not much you can say, you know. Even if you want to keep the group together in high spirits, how can you have high spirits if you get destroyed like that?
So they're not talking about the next game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I hope not, because if they are, they should leave.
Okay.
Like, if you play this game, you have to focus on winning this game, right? Like, if we talk about the next game, leave the lobby and go join the next game.
Well, they're trying to set up for something in mid, and they have a lot of damage, and it's gonna be a lot of utility, including Laguna Blade, to get a single support kill. But now, nice stun, a Light Strike Array, Reason tries to heal himself up, Ryoma tries to get a kill, and it's gonna be 2 for 1. Supernova will not get anything in exchange. The Pit of Malice is perfect, the buybacks are here, and Dynamo has the Aegis, no Laguna Blade, but the Gladiator comes through, and they are actually talking about the game, they're playing the game, the Avalanche is there, they're gonna kill the Gyrocopter. First Aegis, oh, still alive, and now the Pangolier of Sebas in the front line trying to deal damage with the double shield crash. Taco, can he get out of their safety? The flat cannon damage is more than enough. The smoke from Raykill to protect the Lina wasn't there quick enough. Avalanche again, going for that gyro tossback. I don't think this is a good game plan right now. Beansgate gets sent.
Damage.
He wants to get the kill on ZPP. Okay. I mean, they're losing everybody, but they still got a lot of kills there.
Yeah, where's the psyche? Here's the lifesteal.
The Rock is very speedy.
If he gets the rocket on him, he's dead. Oh, I didn't get the rocket. Well, stabilizing at roughly 13k lead. Not bad, they took a decent fight.
Very good fight, yeah.
Not big if it's up for Gyrocopter though.
Arcana gets soloed by Sebas. What was Pangolier doing there? I don't even know. But Arcana, I don't know why he were there. I think he was maybe trying to D-word. There's a sentry on the ground, so maybe that's why he was so far removed from the rest of the squad.
It's so hard to kill him. It is so hard to kill him. We have Glademan now, which is good. And Tiny jumping. But it's also incredibly risky. If anyone is with a gyro, then you can't beat them like at all.
Surprised they managed to kill his first life, right? That's a small victory at least. Oh, nice. Getting on top of Slade again. Back to back, catching the Hoodwink.
But
Smoking up.
I mean, Hoodwink is a good kill, obviously. She's pretty rich. Pretty damn rich, in fact. But yeah, that smoke will have to find something decently impactful. There's a Guardian Greaves at least. Oh, but he already has Guardian Greaves and Pipe on the Underlord.
Oh, Rock is playing smoke and rakes Sebas. Pump fakes, but Raykill is going for the bomb. He's going in and jumping in. They want to change on this Sebas versus Supernova. It's actually again way too far, but Reason will chase it anyway and will connect with the Unleashed. So the Buddha Blade doesn't do enough.
Oh my god, that's a
oh my. Guys, as Reason and Dynamo are way too strong for this measly life here at minute 25.
Yeah, I think in games like these, you shouldn't call it too early, of course. But you should also not, if the Darkseid gets taken out easily, you should also not stay in it for too long. You know, like Fighting Spirit is good, but the longer you stay in this, it will manifest. Losing like this does not feel good. I'm really curious why so many teams are reluctant to GG out. I know there's a lot at stake, but you got the 1-0 lead. I think it's better to preserve your sort of mental state.
We check the rulebook, Black. I feel like nobody in the entire qualifiers has GG'd out. It might just be a competition thing.
You're not allowed to say GG?
Maybe.
Yeah, we have definitely seen it happen, but quite late.
Well,
Also makes me wonder, You know, in Tier 1 tournaments, it's much... Whoa, careful there. Oh, he's just dead. Oh, he missed the roll, actually.
He's going in. Walking past the Guardian here. Phoenix alive for a second longer, but it doesn't matter. As reason, realizing that he is the actual killing machine of this team. Yes, tell me. Some tournaments, yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, so some tournaments and Tier 1 with Tier 1 teams, you will see quite commonly decently early GGs, right? 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit earlier sometimes even. Do you think that is because they know how far they're behind, and that these amateur teams would also do it if they knew how far behind they are? It's just that they don't know.
Could be. Honestly, that could very well be a right? The better you are at the game, the better you understand it. Oh my god, that's perfect right here. It might be the last draw. This is what comes in with this stun rate, but the Phoenix is not the Banners to fight for much longer, and they're all dead. The Darks here didn't even have time to come in. The vacuum wall is way too late. They already called a good game. It was a nice attempt, but the combo wombo doesn't fail this time around.
And that was again a very, very one-sided game. It's so strange. Where's Venezuela from game 1? Where's Ecuador from game 1? What happened? How can two teams that had such an even game suddenly be so unevenly matched?
It's the nature of experience. It's the nature of, ups and downs. Just like life, Black, you can't be always riding the same wave. Even if you're surfing, sometimes the wave does crash and you go underwater, and that's exactly what happened to Venezuela here as Ecuador regained back her form from the rest of the tournament up until this point. That means we will be heading for deciding game number 3. First, third game of the tournament for Ecuador and Venezuela. They've been there before, as I mentioned this already. The question is, can they replicate their story versus Mexico from the group stage and, come back, upset Ecuador as they did in game 1? Or is this game 2 a sign for things to come?
Yeah, is this the beginning of the end? That's the real question. I hope not. Because they look really good in game 1. I hope whatever power they summoned, whoever they, talk to in their rest or pre-match ritual, gotta do that again. Because that was night and day for both teams, really.
Yeah.
Now, I could also just be, I don't want to say it, of course. We don't know, but Ecuador could really just have massively underestimated them. On their face in game 1 and then be like, okay guys, this is actually serious.
I'm just taking a look at the stats, and I'm gonna tell you a very curious one. I think it's actually very interesting. So the games that Venezuela has won, they have played Troll. Every single map they've won.
Okay. Well, then it's time to ban that, huh?
Well, this game, it was banned. Was it?
Not sure, actually.
No, it wasn't.
Well, maybe they just don't care then.
Maybe that's something to consider for Venezuela, right? Like, they just lost again without playing Troll. Maybe they should prioritize getting their hands on Troll. Another one of these heroes that they have 100% win rate with is the Queen of Pain, which, of course, we haven't seen on stream just yet. But that might be something they would be like to pull up in the final game of the tournament. Meanwhile, off stream, ladies and gentlemen, as you can check all your updates on IESF.gg, the United States of America has fulfilled the prophecy, like Black called. They've made it, defeating Colombia. Sadly, the Colombian squad will be eliminated, not making it to Riyadh. But if you are a USA fan, rejoice, as they've qualified, being the only team to go fully undefeated in Pool A. Right now, we're taking a look at the stats, and kind of was the Dynamo show, right? We knew, well, Sebastian Dynamo, but Sebas dying again, Dynamo flawless score, putting up the better numbers this time around.
I mean, we're back to our 24 tower damage.
Oh, it's been a solid 24 hours since we've seen that.
Yeah. Actually, I think at that point it was 23, so we got +1. It's pretty big difference. Yeah, I mean, obviously the stats speak for themselves. No chance. Venezuela absolutely crushed from beginning to end. I mean, even the laning stage. You know, how did a player, like, how did it
The
change so
Pangolier.
much? Like, Pangolier beats Lina, but then in the first game, Alchemist Ember is completely even. It makes no sense, you know.
Yeah, I also didn't like this lifestealer. I actually think we should be probably trying to change it up. The hero felt like very much countered in the draft, and it was very evident, both in the laning phase and, of course, in, well, I don't know what you could call mid or late game, because it was a domination from start to finish. But it's going to be the final break, ladies and gentlemen, before the final game of this finale between Ecuador and Venezuela, to see who can join the USA in Riyadh. And we are back with the final game between Ecuador and Venezuela for the final slot of the IESF Dota 2 Americas qualifiers. And we gotta dig down deeper, as the 10 players are almost ready to start their final draft of the tournament. It's only gonna be 10 picks, or 24 if we're counting the bans, that could make the difference between the beginning for the best and most important game of their lives. They've had such a long tournament for both squads. Venezuela coming in second place in Group B, Ecuador coming in top A, group undefeated, dominating every single team. But right now, have they met their match, or was it just a hiccup in game one? The draft is only moments away from us, and I'm very curious to see how the mentality of these two teams will be, because it's been a long week. They've played a couple of, well, it's been a marathon week, you could even say, for some of them, starting off best of 3 after best of 3, including for Venezuela, when all 3 maps with Mexico in day number 1, now going again to a game 3 versus Ecuador. You could say Ecuador slightly more rested, but they also had a huge back and forth between the two. So, Black, what do you think? Are you back with me, my friend? Are you ready to break down the final draft of the game?
This last game of the qualifier, for us at least. After this, there's only a seeding match, which we won't be covering. But this could potentially be a good one. Okay, it's a very important match. Hopefully it doesn't go like game 2 and more like game 1. But yeah, I mean, we can't tell, right? We can't tell. We can say, yeah, the momentum is probably with Ecuador, but is that even true? Because we said the same thing about Venezuela in game 2.
What's up?
Coin flip at this point. Coin flip, who's gonna win? No clue. Let's watch the draft. It will probably give us a little bit more insight.
Yes, of course. And one hero that has been a staple of the first 2 games was this Phoenix. Well, I can tell you that Venezuela says, you know what, let's not do that again. Not for us, not for them. First ban taking the Phoenix out. That's going to change up quite a lot of the dynamics of the team. The rest, maybe not that big of a surprise. Shadow Fiend, Spirit Breaker, Clock, Jakiro, and the Weaver. But now, who has overall first pick? Okay, Venezuela with the first pick and Ecuador with the last.
Last pick, Ecuador. Okay, that's a huge advantage, I think, for them. Because being able to last pick Sebastos here like they did in game 2. Absolutely huge. Rubik first pick, okay. We actually banned the Phoenix this time. Because they don't want Ecuador to pick it. Even though they beat it.
The green team's banning someone.
Oh, Pangolin first pick this time around. Okay. I mean, if it can't be beaten, go ahead and do it.
I mean, if you played Pango into Lina and you won your lane, I guess there's only so much we can sell, so many counters we can theory craft versus the Pangolier. And now, if you gotta go all in heavy of trying to outplay the Pango in the mid lane, I wouldn't be surprised if Ecuador can go last pick and say, you know what? Put him to off lane, let's get Sebas to play something else, right?
No. Why? Why would they? You know, he doesn't care apparently. whatever matchup there is,
Radiant team back.
he'll just win it anyway. I
Wow,
still
they're
have no
betting-
clue how he actually beat Alina. Like, he had 1,000 more net worth than Alina, somehow.
They're banning the Visage as well, which, again, is a hero they've already defeated. Hoodwink, one of the heroes that sees a lot of play, just like the Phoenix, that makes a bit more sense. Quite interesting to see that Visage ban, because I feel like ZPP on the Visage didn't do that much in game 1. But this hero has the Underlord both games, just like the Phoenix, very contested, very impactful. Also will not see the light of day today in this deciding a game.
Well, let's wait and see
10
what they have up their
seconds remaining.
sleeves. I'm expecting very cookie cutter from Ecuador, from
5
Venezuela,
seconds
maybe a
remaining.
little bit of a curveball. Because, yeah, Ecuador just seems to be very, very good in these really standard games where there's no real deviation from the meta. Whereas Venezuela, they found the best success in game 1 where they mix things up a bit. Like, Alchemist middle isn't at all normal anymore. So maybe do something like that again.
If they
I
do
think
get the
it-
hands on the Alk, how do you think Pango fares versus Alk?
It's pretty much the same. I say like Alchemist does really well against these heroes, just because Acid Spray does so much damage. But the thing is, I want Venezuela to pick a mid hero that just does well. You know, like Lina, of course, a very strong hero that does well usually, but there's still a lot of skill required to make it
Radiant
work.
team
Where, for example, Alchemist, no offense to anyone, you just Acid Spray and you win the lane. You know, like literally, I'm not even kidding. What's the MMR again? You're like 5k, 6k? Around there?
I'm actually a 16k
10 seconds
undercover.
remaining.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just below 6k right now.
Yeah,
I've
so
been,
I'm gonna tell you,
Remaining.
if you're a Necroforce master,
Okay.
and you play against an 8 or 9k Ember Spirit, or whatever hero Necroforce counters, you're going
Sure.
to win that lane. Because Necroforce middle, again, no offense to anyone that spams it, it doesn't take much skill. You know? You just win by default. It's just how it works. If you understand the hero and you understand the game at a decent level, you will just win. So I want Venezuela to do that because I don't think Sebas is gonna lose in a 1v1 skill match. It's not happening. I'm not calling the Venezuela mid laner bad, by the way. I'm just saying Sebas beating Alina with Pangolier is unheard of. Just put him against something he can't win against. Pick some Huska or something.
Well, I'm gonna go on an absolute limb and say that we will not be seeing a Necro. That's
No,
pretty
way,
safe
no way.
assumption. But I think it would be very interesting to get a bit of a change up, as they're taking a lot of time. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot of time right now to actually come up with something for their second pick. And they'll have to go for second and third pick here, Venezuela. And I'm a bit concerned that they didn't expect this. I think Grimstroke is a bit surprising because, of course, Ecuador took it as a protect pick. The Soulbind is a great counter to Pangolier, but I don't think Venezuela should fret. You can steal the Soulbind yourself with your Rubik. But 20 seconds left on the reserve time, and they're going to cook up the highest win rate support in the last couple of days, Black, since 737. The Treant Protector also making its first appearance on stream here for us.
I've always been a big fan of Treant. It just makes the
10
game
seconds
very
remaining.
different. Like trading doesn't really turn into trading anymore. You know, like
5
it's
seconds
more like
remaining.
you defend and get a tower, and then you try to turn the fight around. His laning prowess, of course, is insane. Gyrocopter. Okay, Gyrocopter Treant is a freaking good lane. It's very strong.
They've stolen Gyro. This is the game of steel picks. Second game, there were a lot of Swapperoonies. Now the Gyro will also get claimed by this Venezuela, not allowing Ecuador to play. And you know what? Venezuela is not doing anything funky. Obviously, Rubik, Treant will be the support duo. Gyro, the safe lane carry. You could flex Rubik mid, but I don't think you... I mean, Rubik versus Pango mid? Maybe not. I don't think that's a
I
good
mean,
idea.
it can work for sure. I don't think Rubik actually loses almost to anyone mid lane. Like his Fate Ball is too good. He has really good base stats.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! It's the
That's the Doom
Soulbind
Grimstone.
double doom.
Yeah.
I feel like we roll back a couple of months. I feel like back in 735C.
They didn't change Doom, did they?
It received a few tweaks in 736, you know, obviously with the addition of the facets, but some players really still like the hero. I don't know exactly how he is now, but, you know, he's got a great pair in the Grimstroke, so I'm not going to question it.
Doom's attacks deal 15% bonus damage. Like his auto attacks or what?
That's what it insinuates, right? Attack, I guess.
Doom doesn't hit people. Not really.
Yeah, so maybe it's not the strongest one. But the Wind Ranger... Huh. I'm not the biggest fan of safe lane Wind Ranger, but versus a Gyro, I actually think it's fairly good.
10 seconds remaining.
You think it's fairly good, yeah?
Yeah, versus Gyro, yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
By the time Gyro gets an MKB, it's not good, right? Like, Gyro wants a... I guess Axe, BKB, potentially Maelstrom if not the Axe, then a Crystallis, and then a Maelstrom, but is that too late? And then he's going to be too squishy, still dying to the Focus Fire. And Venezuela really seems to be confused as they are running very, very low. 1 second of reserve time. Oh, thank God, they picked something. And they're going to go for the Queen of Pain. One of the two heroes that I told you they have played and they have 100% win rate with in this tournament.
And it counters both Pango and Wind Ranger in lane. But that's what I mean. Pick something like this, you know? Shadow Strike, you beat the lane. There's nothing he can do. I like this a lot. Like, this approach is a little, you know, simple, but simple is really good. It's really good against Pango anyway, because the wave makes this roll stop. So, I like the pick a lot.
I also like it, but there's a caveat. You've just given Doom the biggest Doom target you could.
5 seconds
remaining. Yeah. And I mean, it's also not that good against Grimstroke. The silence is pretty damn annoying.
Yeah, Phantom Embrace.
But that's what I'm talking about, though. You gotta first even be able to do that. Which means you gotta win lane first, or go even on lane to even have a chance at the game, because in game 2, they got crushed everywhere. You know, there cannot be...
Oh my God!
Wow,
They've G-baited us, Black. They've done it. And,
Wait, so is it an Alchemist mid and Quap offlane or what?
I'm thinking
10 seconds.
I'm thinking Rubik offlane.
Nah, I think it's Quap Rubik. Quap Rubik, Brienne, Gyro, and Alch mid. Unless they want to do Alch offlane, which also works.
This is incredible. You called for something crazy. This is as crazy as it comes, Black. Venezuela trying to catch Ecuador by surprise, and I think Ecuador is happy they have a bit of reserve time. They're gonna use, and they're also gonna go for a little bit of a flex of their own, of putting a Slade on the Wind Ranger and getting the CK for Dynamo. This, Black, is an offlane Alchemist.
Offlane Alchemist, indeed. Against CK? Doesn't sound too good.
But it sounds a bit better than versus Wind Ranger, right?
Yeah, of course, for sure. The problem is that I don't know. We'll see how the lane goes. If Alchemist is a decent lane, it will have a decent shot at winning the game. But of course, if his lane is horrible, which it could be potentially be very horrible. At Grimstroke, Chaos Knight is a very strong lane.
Reality Rift, Chaos Bolt, Inkswell, you're done. I actually think this is going to sound crazy. Correct me if you think this is absurd. Normally, you would like to lane one range with one melee hero, of course, if you're the Venezuelan side. But I feel like Alchemist, Treant, Protector on the off lane could actually have way more kill potential than Alchemist Rubik.
Yeah, you're right. That sounds about right. Wait, let me think real quick. So, took the Doom facet, the new one. So that's every 6.66 seconds minute.
Yes, durations increase. So its durations increases by 6 seconds every 10 seconds, basically. If you really want to do like the slightly more simple math. So in minute 30, the duration of Doom is increased by about
3 seconds.
3 seconds. Yeah.
But more like 33, I guess.
Yeah. Well, again,
So-
approximately.
Wow, man. So that means Doom is like the ultimate broken hero now. But
I don't
like
think
they said, the game goes to like 180 minutes, then you have like a
Yeah,
30.
but if
I'm just
it
saying,
goes there.
unlimited scaling, man.
I think it's a cool concept. I like the 666, of course, for no.
I don't like it very much, to be honest.
I think
I
it's
thought
funny.
the gluttony was really good until I realized it increases devour cooldown.
30 seconds to battle.
I'm happy if Doom is not an S tier pick. I feel like he was in the meta for a very long time. So if he's just one of these heroes that you bust out every now and then, especially when you pair him up with a Grimstroke, I think the hero's in a good place.
Yeah, especially now that his ult is also an AA, basically.
I think this is very funny. You don't often get teams that have 2 alchemist specialists. At least I would say that's not that common, right? But they do. And Taco was very successful with the Alch in game 1. Let's see if Arrakis, with his Platinum Alch, can replicate some of that. It's going to be a 2-for-2 rune trade, although I did think Ecuador might be able to get 3, but Pangolier was just body blocking the creeps. As the final game between Ecuador and Venezuela for the IESF Americas qualifiers is now underway, and we are getting a lot of spice. Support Windranger, Queen of Pain mid, Alchemist off lane. What else could you have prayed for?
It's gonna be a fun matchup. Let's see if we can also beat the quad middle somehow. That would be ridiculous if we could. Well, you already got the entire first creep wave. You got that deny. You didn't get that last hit.
It's the
Oy, oy,
strength
oy, oy.
of Sebas. Sebas is just a different beast.
Get that either.
Oh my god. One last hit so far. I'm telling you, maybe just letting Taco play his Alchemist again might have been sufficient to punish this Pango with the acid spray. Might have.
Well, it's gonna get harder and harder, obviously. Like, this quap once you're level 3, the Shadow Strike.
Oh my god. Ray kill.
Oy.
But if Arrakis could get it back... No, he can't. He's getting blocked by the creeps and the tree line. He's actually popping the concoction. He's actually might get some more damage onto Reason. But the stick being used before the connection is only gonna be just a bit of cheap damage.
Alright, Pango's bottle is already there. So he survived the hardest part. Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing on his Pango.
Ryoma is kind of alone here. Power shot for the extra slow and damage, and Ryoma most likely will fall as the heal of Treant Protector wasn't even attempted. Does he not have a point in Leech Seed?
He does. I
Just
didn't use it. Uh-oh.
not a good start for Venezuela. That needed to have at least one good side lane, as the mid lane is obviously a complete domination. 17 last hits with 70 knives to only the 8 of the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, but in theory it should get harder and harder for the Pango there. Like, hard to a point where, you know, it becomes unplayable.
Reason, oh my god, he's about to get out of there safely. Ray kill. He's actually juking himself. Fade Bolt still on cooldown. Reason is buying a lot of time, and that allows the CK to harass this Alchemist. Look at the run. He's put on his Olympics
Wait, he's out?
sprinting shoes. He's safe, yeah.
Rubik also cancels his attack animation twice. It would have killed the Grimstroke. Oh, but of course, at least he has himself a lot of damage.
Oh, nice paintbrush. Stroke of fate. coming in for the slow Dynamo with the stick again. There's so many spells being cast on his top lane that having a stick is a guaranteed survivability, more than most lanes actually.
Mid lane is getting... Damn, man. Ow.
I don't know. It's a great question. Would you like to tell me why? Or how? Or when?
He's 13 denies. Fuck got one.
He's about to have 20 last hits ahead of the Queen of Pain at minute 4. I don't know how this is mathematically possible, actually. Doom now, getting kind of pressured, a little bit bullied out the lane, but ZPP just turns around as Slade is eating a bit of the Rocket Barrage damage. That is one advantage of running a Gyro into Wind Ranger. The Wind Run is not that great versus the magic of the first spell of the Gyro.
$1K advantage, pretty much all through the mid lane. Okay, at least they're getting some pulls off in the off lane, but yeah, Doom is also completely free farming. Bob has to go back to base. He's over 1 level behind.
Maybe she should go get some ganks and maybe try to help Rakiel and the Rockies, who are now getting right-clicked. Oh my god, how many Chaos Strikes can you proc in a row, Dynamo?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the answer, yes. I like that.
Chance is also really high though.
The Queen of Pain just went back mid. I think that's a huge mistake. As of course, the Silings are also struggling. She should have come top and helped them at least pressure the CKOA. I don't know.
But she's only level 5, so rotation
Still.
without ult would have felt pretty bad probably. Sebas also gets the rune. Lady Luck also on his side. He kind of deserves it after he played the lane that well.
Double last hits. He has as many denies as the Queen of Pain has last hits here in the mid lane.
Yep. He's now rotating to... maybe not. There's an Invis rune. Might want to rotate to the side lanes with it.
Invisibility.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's Ryan towards the top lane Invis, but they know that. So, shouldn't really be able to do anything there.
3-0, and now let's see. We had a hell of a rotation for Wisdom Runes last game. This time it's still Sebas is under the Invis rune, but there's a sentry very well placed. They need some TPs. They need to do some... Guys, telekinesis, they're not watching this. What is happening right now? Rakiel, oh my god, they baited that perfectly, and now Sebas, I don't think there's anything they can do to him, as he still is very tanky, and the Rolling Thunder just actually helps him to turn this around. He's getting stuck for a little bit, but he will TP out to safety.
The mid lane, in fact, and Quap TP'd there to try and kill him. That's an absolute disaster for the Quap. At least they got a kill onto the Grimstroke.
Yeah, and they did get the Wisdom Rune.
Oh, I got both of them too, okay. Alright. There's some Dota left to be played.
Wait, both of them?
Yeah.
The tree installed the other one. Oh, that is kind of good for them. Yeah, that's correct. Sadly, I don't know where the Treant is, as Rio was dying again. Leech Seed. Just huge. Okay, there we go. Finally, thank you. Now ZPP gets pulled back. He's very speedy, but the Scorcher will not be sufficient, as he's the one getting scorched instead.
Yeah, his high five turned into death.
Is this a support Queen of Pain?
Looks like it.
I mean, I know the current build on Queen of Pain is Dagon, and we've seen lots of Rubik's build Dagon. I'm just thinking maybe it's just the meta, right? You go for the full support build.
Amazing what you'll find laying around.
Alright, so the game is at least not slipping out of their hands. Because last game, at this time, the game was pretty much irrecoverable already.
Well, it's not derailing, but it's slipping out of their hands. Dynamo's about to get an armlet pre-minute 10 on top of Threads and Bracer. That's not a great sign if you are hoping for Venezuela to win this game 3. Let me know in the chat, guys. Do you support Ecuador or Venezuela? Who has the most supporters right here today?
Oh, nice throw what though. Holding everything, and CK is dead.
Look up stop. I don't think they are actually gonna TP in time for him. No, Dynamo just dies as the rest of his team was actually trying to smoke up bottom. That is a very big mistake, allowing Dynamo to just die like that. The most farm hero on the map.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Nice duo there as well.
Trusty shovel for the offlane alchemist, and now he has the little bit of a neutral creep to amplify his gold, and that is a nice touch. I actually think genuinely that the Cobalt is one of the most underrated neutrals to have.
How much is the gold ore nowadays?
I think it's quite significant. I think it doesn't even say 20, 30, 40 per minute.
Regeneration.
So it scales up. I don't know what does it scale up with, but it does
No,
scale up.
it upgrades every, I think, was it 15 minutes?
Oh, yes, that was a rather recent change, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's going for the greedy build. It doesn't matter where they're playing it. They want to get the Radiance on this Alchemist. Still quite far from having it, but still looking better than Taco, who's trying to catch up. Already has hit 45 last hits. His network is looking a bit better.
What
oh,
items is he going for?
I don't think he's going for anything, bro. He's got Treads and Talisman.
We just started this. Can you still go for Dagon?
I'm gonna be honest, I actually think this is the only thing he can get. Because maybe Kayak would actually not be bad, or Yules could help him. But, I mean, I don't know. What else would you like to see on him? A Lincoln's? He's not gonna get that for another 30 minutes at this rate.
Another smoke.
Okay, the Queen of Pain is gonna die. Oh! CP maybe was not in range for the Doom, I'm not quite sure. Shackle Shot, Rolling Thunder, but that's a perfect overgrowth, and yes, Arcana will die, but as long as the rest of the team stays alive, that doesn't really matter. We actually have a TP from Arrakis, who is below half HP. I don't know why you're here. The Doom is still available, so is the Focus Fire, and the Sonic Wave connecting, that is a lot of damage, and ZPP Dooms, but it might just be too late. The Doom also gets stolen. They're turning around. They need some more help. Where is your Gyrocopter? He's getting the others, and the Concussion. It just flies by the ear of the Pangolier, which was TPing back to the fountain.
Massive teamfight victory there now for the first time in this game in the gold lead.
I mean, pitch perfect Sonic Wave with a stolen Doom, that is incredible.
Alchemist is almost there at the Radiance already. He's probably gonna complete it at minute 14, 15. The game is not looking half bad anymore.
Definitely not. And looking on the supports, you know, the Rubik Treant offer you way more in the early stages of a game than a Wind Ranger does, right? Wind Ranger is one of these heroes that kind of needs one or two items before she actually, well, is up to par to the other, you know, less reliable on farm supports, such as a Treant Protector. You know, a Treant Protector could go on all game long without anything, and you could still have great impact.
Yeah, although a farm tree and protector is a huge
Much better.
nuisance. I hate playing against farm treants, man. So tanky and always in the trees and that's gross. Is there stolen Doom?
This is another different gyro build from the one we've been seeing. This time skipping homing missile. Okay. I think it's good. Maybe 1 point in homing missile would be fine. He's gonna probably get it at level 11, I suspect.
One could hope he does.
I don't think we talked about this change. It happened, of course, a few months ago. Do you like the new-ish... It's not new, it's been like 3 months now. But do you like this new Veil, or do you still think the targeted one was a bit better?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Okay, Waxen.
Yes?
If you are the Doom, and you find a good opportunity to Doom, are you going to do it? Or will you, no matter what, wait for the Grimstruggle? ult?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Depends on the minute of the game. I think right now you just Doom.
Yeah, I think so too.
You didn't answer my question, bro. What do you think of this new type of Veil?
Wait, so you asked that? Wow, it completely flew by my head.
Yeah, it's fine, bro. It's okay. I'm used to
The new
being
type
ignored.
of veil that you don't target, you mean?
The
It's
one
like
that's
around you?
surrounding you instead of, like, targeting, yes.
I mean, initially when it was brought into the game, it was completely busted. I think it makes more sense because it puts you in a, spot where you actually are a little bit endangered. Because the old Veil, like before that, had like an absurd cast rate of like 1,000 something. Wow. I like it. And then the
like
upgrade into Shiva's God makes sense too.
That's what I like. I like the build up into Shivas. Otherwise, I don't know if I prefer this one to the other one, but
Of course you wouldn't prefer it because the range one was busted. Yeah.
yeah. Oh well. At least it didn't do vision anymore like it used to like 3 years ago. A smoke up from Ecuador. Taco blinks out, but didn't break the smoke just yet. They might just find a Rubik instead. Oh, Taco breaks the smoke, but the Doom does not turn for him, and they're gonna kill Arcana on the support and the Rubik. That instant buyback. Why are we doing this? I'm not quite sure. They're going for it, and now the Soulbind Doom is coming in, the Rolling Thunder Sonic Wave, but it doesn't matter. Everybody else is just dying. Gyro's going south, Alk is going north, and not connecting onto anyone, but the Doom does fall. But Dynamo, just like dynamite, blows up every single player on the Radiant side. Somehow, only at 3-4-3, the Orchid there is gonna stop this Queen of Pain in her tracks, and now Raykill will get team wiped. That's essential. 7 kills going in the favor of Ecuador for only 3 players that they've lost.
Yeah. The power of the CK again, that early Orchid,
Is under attack.
he's so filthy rich. So rich. And that's the problem, man. You pick an Alchemist into a Doom, that is...
Are fortified.
It's absurd. Doom is literally a targeted AA ult. Like, it's the hardest counter to Alchemist in the entire game. And you just pick it anyway. You know, that is crazy, actually. So even if they ever reach mid-late game, what are you gonna do about that? What can you even do about that? Oh, you have a Lincoln on you? A mirror shield or something? I don't know.
Oh my god, this Queen of Pain, she feels her own name as the pain is ensuing from Dynamo and Slade.
Yeah, she can't catch a break after that initial early. Or Dynamo.
There's a good set up top. Do they have enough damage with the gyro? Yes, they will. But the Phantasm Illusions actually pulling him back in with the Soulbite onto 2 of them. She's dealing so much damage. Gyro to below half HP. But now Slade, nice. Widow's Bolt stolen, and he gets taken out. They are still very beefy and very good at taking these fights, as the Treant Protector does such a great job of, completely bringing sustain into the team fights.
Yo, Green Dudes, something bad.
They should not fight without the Doom, of course.
What did they do? Did they use the Doom?
Well, we're still on
Was it
cooldown.
still in cooldown? Oh, wow. And that is one aspect you gotta keep in mind, right? Doom, 140-second cooldown. Alchemist, you kill him once in early game, he comes back faster. Chemical Rage has a considerably lower cooldown, and they're gonna run at you. Venezuela, again, similar to game 1, they have a good game plan, and it's not as flawless, as nice looking as it was 2 maps ago, but you're still in it. Unless, well, now the Doom's of it. Huh? ZPP? Did you see that?
Probably just wanted to use it so the Ruby can't steal any better spell.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or 3 minutes
Concoction.
down with a concoction.
Where's the follow-up though? The Soulbind is only into single target. The Wind Rangers dies now. Doom is here, but oh my goodness, it's a stolen Rolling Thunder. There's nothing they can do. Sebas is now alone in between 4 players. Needs to blink out, but the chase continues. Raykill is there. They're gonna try to lift him up. He's trying to shield crash away, but a rock is unstoppable. This Alchemist is tanking, is diving. The tier 2, the tier 3s, and it's a double kill for the least farmed core on the map. The Queen of Pain of Paco, as Ecuador lose 4.
Okay, well, I thought this game was gonna, derail very quickly for Venezuela, but instead they brought it back easily. 2 massive teamfight victories in a row.
And I'm starting to understand why. The last week, everybody's changed this facet of the gyrocopter. The secondary strikes of the cooldown are doing so much damage in the team fights. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's actually kind of silly that it's basically another cooldown per hero that you hit. Ridiculous amount of damage.
Also, that's a very interesting build. He's got Gleipnir drums.
Oh yeah, he does. Now he disassembles the drums for to assemble
drums.
them again. Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe just wanted to see what happens. Kind of felt that.
Did he get a charge back?
Or
I'm gonna be
maybe,
honest,
actually.
I'm way too tired, but I felt like I read a 7. Wait, is that an actual thing? He had a windlace, and obviously you need a windlace for the drums. I feel like he disassembled and reassembled it using the other windlace. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to keep an eye on it. I don't know if it works like that, but
I
it wouldn't
swear,
surprise
this
me if it
might
did.
just be the biggest brain play I've seen in a long time. That is some nerd stuff, if it actually has any impact. We might just be overlooking into it, and he might have just been playing around, wondering why he has 2 windlaces in his inventory. That's very highly probable as well, but look at this Alchemist with that perfect observer placed behind the tier 1. Slade. Slade again, ZPP going in, Doom onto the Alch, Rolling Thunder coming in. What is Raykill gonna steal? They're trying to use the Overgrowth, and the Alchemist getting chain stunned. The Gleipnir coming in. They're trying to run in the same direction, but Reality Rift onto both targets that get soul-binded and obliterated. Still, 3-4-2, Raykill, Glimmer Cape out of there. There's no sentry wars to find him. I don't know, Black. I feel like Ecuador did that perfectly, other than the double Doom target, and they still ended up being on the receiving end and losing more heroes.
Yeah, but not losing more important heroes. Like losing the Alchemist and Gyro hurts the most, probably. Very important kills. And they're probably still going to be quite happy with that. Quap finished her Yules. She's getting back into the game now slowly. Same Nepro as Sebas. Which always feels a little bad. If you knew. Like, you dominate the lane so hard and then you have the same Nepro with them anyway. It always feels bad, man.
This is hell of a game 3 to have. I told you after game 1, Black, I'm sad that one of these teams cannot make it, as I feel like both of them are more than deserving to play in Riyadh, especially compared to some of the other teams that have qualified. Of course, not to put anyone down, but they're playing very high quality Dota. They're very entertaining and they're very on it. Right now, first Roshan of the game will get claimed by Ecuador, uncontested. of Venezuela. They're barely smoking up now, and it's gonna be way too late.
Goodbye and hello Aegis for the CK. Who doesn't have a BKB? You have to be careful.
They're still
my
going for
friend.
it. Telekinesis, Concoction, this is gonna be blowing up the Doom, and now the Sonic Wave, they're pushing back, the Rolling Thunder, the Aegis is on the CK, but Dynamo doesn't seem to be able to get on top of anyone just yet. The Reality Rift is onto the Alchemist, the Soulbind coming in way too late. That is a disengaged Soulbind, and Sebas, 1 between 5, will just die. As Venezuela is not afraid of an Aegis, they're not afraid of anything.
Uh-oh. Might it be happening?
Glide there to stop the Glimmer KTP out, and it's gonna be the third casualty that Ecuador suffers. This is the price they have to pay for getting the Roshan.
Pretty big price. I mean, at least they have the Aegis ready, but yeah. Losing this hero hurts a lot.
Black, incredible. Paco right now is out farming Sebas, not just by net worth, but even last hits. He was so far behind. We were impressed with the fact that Sebas managed to push up such a clinic for the first 15 minutes, and somehow, some way, Paco getting the beef on to the tortilla and making this comeback. Look at the net worth. It's only Dynamo in the top 4 of the network chart from Ecuador. It's slipping out of their fingers, and it's slipping fast. It's very oily.
Yeah, and Treant doing Treant things, delaying tower pushes for as long as humanly possible. It's also a big problem though for the Doom. Like, he chose to go Shivas before BKB. Huge mistake in my opinion. Like, Veil to BKB makes much more sense, and I think they would have won more fights if they actually did that.
Maybe they were trying to nullify some of this attack speed coming in from the Alchemist and the Gyro.
Maybe, but BKB is just too good on Doom.
What does this CK run with the Circlet? He must have a better tier 2 neutral item, right?
I don't know so. Unless they lost theirs.
Well, the BKB is fully completed on the Chaos Knight. So far, still the one star on the Ecuadorian sky. As if you would have told me this about 24 hours ago, Black, that Ecuador will be probably minutes away from being eliminated and not qualifying to Riyadh, I would have called you a madman.
Well, luckily you don't have to call anyone a madman. Oh, this is reality. I mean, they're 7k ahead. They have an Alchemist, so it is a bit inflated, of course. And CK is an incredible carry. He can blow up any hero. They still hard counter the Alchemist, obviously, as well. All they need to do now is sit back a little bit, which is what they're doing. Just farm up those BKBs. Make sure you're ready for the next fight. Because I think if you lose 1 or 2 more fights like you did the last couple of fights, then the game is actually over.
I'm just gonna be way more concerned for Ecuador when this Lincoln's will be completed on Taco, because if you can't stop this Queen of Pain, you're focusing the Gyro and the Alchemist, they're gonna be so sustained by the Treant Protector. The Queen of Pain will have a lot of time to keep on spamming her many abilities and nukes in teamfight, and in this meta, the Queen of Pain is actually a great ultra late game hero. You know, traditionally she does fall off at around minute 50. Nowadays, I don't actually think that's the case. I think she turns more into a beast the later the game goes.
Yeah, Quap has an insane amount of scalability for sure. Okay, he went for the Shadow Strike interval damage. Okay, strength. I mean, Quap's talents are pretty insane, especially all the 20s and 25s. I mean, all her talents are pretty damn good. Put a kid in.
They were trying to smoke up on Ecuador, trying to maybe use the last minute of the Aegis to find a pick-off. It will not be successful. Right now, they will actually turn their heads towards the tier 2 bottom, and of course, getting the final piece of gold that the Doom needs for his BKB. So he will have we will get multiple BKBs as soon as the Aegis expires. So Ecuador, despite being slightly on the back foot, will have at least some more spell reduction, invulnerability, whatever you want to call it. It's not invulnerability anymore, so...
Debuff resistance.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. And magic resistance.
You know, one item I thought we would see a lot more since 737, and we've seen very little of it, is the Iron Talon.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
The
attack.
Iron Talon. What do you think of that item?
I think it's in a good spot. I kind of like it.
I just feel like for a tier 2, 80% of an ancient creep is kind of a lot.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's a lot of other good tier 2 items that, you know, people are still gonna prioritize over it, I feel like. Oh, 10 players smoke up. The Theory Craft has to take a break. Alchemist breaks the smoke, pops the acid spray on the tower, sees the Doom. The Doom blinks out, the Alch blinks in, and the Rolling Thunder comes in through the back line. They're trying to chain stun this Queen of Pain, but she does have the Yule Scepter right now. Phantom's Embrace is not going to connect in time, and they are separating. They're going on the Alchemist. The Rolling Thunder is stolen again by the Rubik, but it's a double Doom onto the soul by Sonic Wave. Is killing everybody. They don't care their Doom. Their right clicks are right there, and they're right
Oh my
clicking you out
gosh.
to the fountain. No more CK, no more Pangolier. The Doom has to run away. But that was a perfect jump in from Ecuador. In the end, they don't achieve anything with it, as now Slade was getting baited by Rio, allowing the Rockies to come in, get the stun, and a triple kill for the Gyrocopter. Black Venezuela might have just done it.
The game is pretty much over now. There was the best fighting chance they had. Damn, Ecuador's out? Not yet, but they're really damn close. They need a miracle fight, or a couple of them. Oh, they're not stopping. They're on a cliff.
There's no buyback, 25 seconds. At least the backdoor protection is there, so they might be able to keep their racks alive. But they see the Doom and they're trying to find him. ZPP gets pulled up in the air by the Yule Scepter Gleipnir. They need to dispel him. They don't have a shard on this Grimstroke. He's alone. He's pulled up in the air. The sentry is right there, and the call down comes in. Slade tries to turn around. Soulbind as well, but there's not enough damage to do anything with his massive targets. The Rolling Thunder comes in. The CK tries to get on top of Taco. Nice Kiro strike onto Theme, but he's on the low ground. The Sonic Wave's off cooldown. He dies again. That is it. No more CK for 70. Sebas is alone between 4 heroes. What can you do other than look at them and pray to not kill you? They will not listen to your prayers. They lose 4 again. And Ecuador losing 8 heroes in back-to-back team fights. Now, what's going to protect your racks, Black?
One last cliff is all there is left between them, and the team's being crushed. Yeah, I think this game is pretty much over. Oh gosh.
What a showcase from Venezuela, who right now will be claiming the first set of racks. Tier 2 standing top and bottom, but they could go for tier 4s. Look at the armor, look at the living armor, look at the leech seed. It's doing such a great job. They're all full HP pretty much. 22 seconds. They might be able to go for a final defense, as they have to invest the last fortify available. Ecuador, they played so well all tournament long, Black, but right now when it mattered most, they are crumbling at the feet of the Venezuelan prowess.
Of course, they're not going to leave the game. It's do or die. There's always a chance to come back, especially when you have Doom. The hero, just the way he inherently works is made for this kind of comeback. Doom duration right now is 16.6 seconds. What's the normal Doom duration?
16?
16 seconds on level 18. So the facet did effectively nothing.
No, Black, I have a deja vu.
Wait, what?
Dynamo just killed himself to the neutral.
How did that happen?
He tried to solo the Tormentor. He got greedy. And, like, this is IESF Dota at its finest. Remember the grand finals from last year?
Dire's top
Tower is under attack.
That is
do.
such an anticlimactic way to end it. Again, a carry dying to the neutral, and yes, they were pretty much with, well, both feet in the grave, but this is gonna make it even worse.
Dire's bottom tower
And now they have that nice Roshan banner as well to fortify their creeps. Oh my gosh, I did not expect this outcome at all.
You need to defend here.
I think neither did Ecuador.
Well, I guess the CK will respawn, and now they will have the Gale Force for the Wind Ranger or that death, but what else?
Well, now there's
What
a
are
new problem. We have a butterfly on Gyro and there's no MKB in sight for any hero.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I guess we have Bloodthorn coming up soon, but of course I guess dispelled.
There's a Lincoln as well for the Alchemist, and if you want Ecuador to still have a chance in this one, you gotta give them all your strength and all your power in the chat right now. And if you're for Venezuela, let us know as they're knocking down at the second set of racks. It's bottom. There's a smoke from Ecuador.
Dire's
Banner gets popped.
has fallen.
It's a 2-life Gyro. The hardest counter to Doom in the game. Ages.
Dire's bottom barracks.
There's a full shield rune on Taco as well.
Bottom barracks.
Can you kill anyone? That's the question. I feel like the answer might be no.
And that's one side
Anarchist
gone,
goes up.
the second guy's gone.
They just fall. The racks just fall. There's nothing you can do.
Well, the next side you have to defend or you're done.
Minute 35, 25k gold deficit. Top 3 net worth goes to the heroes, the cores of Venezuela. And they're playing so cautious, Black. They realize they're ahead. They know the advantage is on their side. The ball is in their court. They just have to not make any mistakes, and they will walk into Riyadh in November.
They can practically taste it already. Age is still there for 250.
My goodness. Ecuador desperate. I'm trying to see if there's any items that might be coming to them soon. Sebas is trying to get the assault cuirass. At the beginning of the day, we were talking about Sebas or Slade, potential MVPs of the qualifiers, and right now, it seems very unlikely that they'll even qualify at all.
Just look very likely right now, 25k. Gyrocopter literally just has to sit there while his team waits behind him. And there's
There's an
nothing
arcane.
Dyer can do realistically.
There's an arcane rune for the Queen of Pain. The Gale Force being used to push them back for a little bit. The tier 3 has collapsed. Well, hasn't collapsed, you know. Will collapse in a second. Power shot for vision. Arcane gets used. Shackle onto Ryoma. Doesn't leech onto anyone else. The range is under siege. And now Arrakis goes in onto 2. The Shackle, the Sonic Wave, and 2 of them are dead. No buyback onto Sebas. The Doom is coming in, but ZPP just dies to right-click. Dynamo tries to get Ray kill. He's 1 versus 3. Gets the Rubik. BKB runs away. Buyback from the Grimstroke. Buyback from the Wind Ranger, but so is the Rubik back into it. It doesn't matter. Doom or not, the racks will fall. And now the Mega Creeps will start invading the Ecuadorian high ground.
You don't want to say GG yet for obvious reasons, but it's the over a minute left in the Ages. Tier 4 tower gone, they have one more glyph.
There's no buyback on Sebas.
Oh, God. Well, let's see what they try to do. They have to fight into this Ages no matter what. The second tier 4 tower is gone. You don't have much time, guys. You're on a big clock.
There's a 45 available, but no Doom, no Phantasm. ZPP just going in. The GG gets called no matter what. They're going for the last hurrah, but they are giving up
GG
as Ecuador gets eliminated. Venezuela has made it after a marathon of a qualifier. They push it over the finish line, and they will be joining Argentina in the United States of America as representing the Americas region at the World Esports Championships.
Well done to them. Honestly, there isn't much else to say. Congratulations. I didn't even think they had a chance from the very beginning. Obviously proved me wrong. Yeah, well done. With their unorthodox drafting style, made it happen. I still think Ecuador is probably better just individually, but as a team, Venezuela definitely outplayed them, out-strategized them, outsmarted them. Yeah, just overall outplayed them.
Congratulations to all of the teams competing, but right now, we talked about highlight reels, we talked about show reels, we talked about so many things over the last 3 days. In the end, it was the Venezuelan story. The team played so well, Black. They defeated Mexico. They lost to USA. We thought they were done and out. They made it out of the groups, and in the end, came into play versus Ecuador, the undefeated Group A Titans. And look at the highlights. Such beautiful play. They were losing right here very, very hard. The Dynamo with the triple kill looked like he was taking over the game. Sebas was cleaning house with the Pangolier after completely destroying that Queen of Pain. Again, another Pangolier masterclass of the laning phase. First killing and destroying the Lina, then a Queen of Pain, but somehow he just completely got halted in the mid-game, and that was all that was needed. Venezuela took the finger and the whole hand, the whole arm, the whole body, and got in with another Alchemist pick, this time for their offlaner, Black.
Well, I think the biggest problem was actually from the Ecuador side that the itemization. If they had BKBs earlier, these fights earlier wouldn't have gone that way, and they wouldn't have been able to build up that advantage that they had at this fight already. Because if they're not this far ahead, I don't think they can fight the Doom. Like, you just Doom the Alchemist every time and you will pretty much auto-win the team fight. But because they lost 2 team fights straight in a row, yeah, Venezuela just built up too much of an advantage when the items came online, and they couldn't fight them anymore. Like, Dota is a very finicky game when it comes to timings. If you miss your timing, you can suddenly look completely useless, and that's what happened to this Doom. I really don't understand the decision to go straight for Shivas. It's super expensive. You literally can go Veil and BKB at the same price. That's what you needed to do.
This is the GG with the Ancient falling. Is 35-16 was the final score. Take a look at the overall damage dealt by the heroes. It was Arakiz, probably one of the players that we've overlooked the most, I would say, the best of 3, coming up and shining the most when it mattered in this game 3. Of course, at the same time, Ryoma with the gyrocopter doing a lot of great work here. And Sebas, look at his KDA, Black. We went from 15 to 19 to 12 to only a 1.
Yeah, it's been a rude awakening. From 2... Ecuador crushed the entire group stage. 6-0. And then lose 1 series and you're out. That's the crude reality, you know. But you had it in your hands. I think personally in game 1 especially, they underestimated them, and it came back to bite them. Well, what can you say? Congratulations. Would love to see Ecuador there as well, but there can only be one winner. Venezuela, they did it. Gonna be seeing them in Riyadh. Yeah, I'm very happy for them, honestly. I really am, especially for Raykill. He's back.
He's made it. The story, oh my goodness, Black. I cannot wait to see what they're preparing, because of the way they're playing, this is a team that could definitely contend and maybe even make it out of the groups in Riyadh. Of course, it's still a long way off from now, but the passion, you could feel the emotion of the players through the server, which is incredible, right? We didn't have face cams, we weren't on LAN, but you can tell they were giving absolutely everything to every single minute on that server. So congratulations to Venezuela, as that was it. They've made a statement, they've made a name for themselves, and now they will be going to play their international LAN. Black, that is it for the Americas qualifiers. Do you have any final words or shout outs you'd like to make?
Final words and shoutouts. Well, my boys from Argentina made it. I'm very happy for them. Maybe, you know, I'm gonna talk to Mariano. What's going on there? If he's actually gonna join or not. Would be very happy to see him again. But yeah, the United States, I think, was a pretty obvious winner. We both underestimated him a little bit, but we expected him to go through no matter what. But not in the fashion they did. It was like super dominant. The second slot, well, I thought at least was completely locked in, but very pleasant surprise. That's just Dota, you know. Sometimes you're feeling it. I still don't know. Like, how did they win 2 games and then in game 2 they just got completely demolished like this? It's Dota is a mystery. There's too many random factors at play. You can never really know what's going to happen. But I'm extremely happy for Venezuela. As I said, the region initially was a great Dota region, a very big Dota region. It trickled down over the years, but maybe this could be a new spark to reignite the passion that they had for the game once.
I hope so indeed, Black, because this was a hell of a qualifier. 3 long days of best of 3s, back-to-back for all the teams. It was our pleasure to be here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Please go follow Black on all of his socials, including his Twitch, Black Raidmer. I believe you can find him at. He streams very regularly, many cool games, even Dota once in a blue moon. But I want to give a huge shout out to everybody behind the scenes, all the federations, all the teams, the players, the coaches from the Americas regions for making this a very entertaining qualifier. As for us, well, that is going to be the end of the Dota 2 Americas qualifiers. I was Waxen. It was my pleasure to be here alongside you for the whole week with Black, the one and only, and hopefully we will see you more in the future and more IESF action.